This academy is where the absolute strongest hunter heroes are forged. Their mission, defending humanity from the calamity. One rookie just shattered records. That is Kim Seo, a genius destined to become the world's greatest hero. But behind that perfect savior image, this guy hides a dark, secret past. Seo is not the only monster this year. Another terrifying talent just arrived. Shin Jang-hok took the second highest score, and his arrogant vibe is insane. Everyone is jealous, but do not get confused. Neither of these guys is our lead. Here is the real truth. You and I are looking at a world that was just a novel, written by one seriously depressed author. Then, a random fan sent him a challenge. The fan told him he needed to focus more on the background characters. Claimed they were too interesting to ignore. Suddenly, the impossible actually happened. Our struggling writer woke up the next morning and realized his life was over. He was trapped inside Cube Academy in the body of a total nobody. As a mere background extra, he did not even recognize his own face. After a long day of classes, he returned to his dorm to find a package. It was his old laptop, the exact one he used to write his story. Then things got weird. A system window popped up, flickering with raw data. A blinding light engulfed the room as a notification chimed in his ears. Synchronization complete. Just like that, our nameless extra finally had an actual name. He looks in the mirror and freezes. That is his actual real-world face. He just underwent ascension, the same rare phenomenon the world's strongest heroes experience. Basically, our depressed author was challenged to care about the background cast. Now he is the biggest extra in his own creation. But get this. He has a massive, unfair advantage. He knows this world's secrets inside out. Kim Hajin stares at a unique authority screen floating right before his eyes. He can actually manifest brand new objects by spending something called SB. Using his SB bar unlocks a world of absolute, game-breaking possibilities. These story points are the key, but he can only earn them one way. He gets SB as the plot moves forward and his own importance grows. Here is the kicker. Hajin does not remember writing about story points at all. Our author realizes he has to become a major player to survive. He must influence the narrative to farm those sweet, sweet story points. His mission is finally becoming clear. That laptop and those status screens. They are his tools to survive the hellish monster battles coming his way. He is being forced to interfere with the main storyline he once created. Honestly, it is a nightmare scenario. Hajin is already cursing his own imagination. But just as he vents his frustration, another window blindsides our writer. It is a notification containing hidden information he never actually wrote down. It holds secret data he never even put in his original book. Now, Hajin is forced to interfere just to have a chance of returning. He gets up and begins frantically typing away on the keys of his magical laptop. He has no choice. Waiting for the story to progress naturally is suicide. He needs to act before the timeline hits the point he stopped writing. There is no guarantee he will go back even if he reaches that point. Stick with me, because he must change the ending to survive the beginning. Even if this hidden info doesn't help him get back home, it might still hold the keys to surviving this strange new world. Plus, navigating the main cast gets way easier with a little inside knowledge. To survive, Hajin has one path: fight like hell and get strong, fast. He starts dumping points into stats, desperate to outlive the plot's twists and whatever comes next. He needs an edge. And about those levels, see, in the world he wrote, classic level grinding doesn't actually exist. That level up sound from every other novel, yeah, not happening here. The only way to grow is spending points, making them more precious than gold. So where should our guy invest? You and I both know luck. It's the only stat without a cap, and it always pays off. Money, power-ups, even making friends, luck touches every part of life. It's the ultimate survival tool for any world, basically a total cheat code. But there's a catch. You can't just pump regular points into luck directly. Hajin wonders if he can game the system by converting his story points. If he turns them into SB, he might just break the luck barrier. Time for a test. He risks 10 points to see if it works. Boom, those 10 points just exploded into 10,000 SB points instead. He doesn't hesitate, dumping 9,000 SB straight into his luck stat. Luck surges by 9. Suddenly, the mysterious luck ability kicks into high gear, even buffing itself by an extra point. Talk about a solid investment. This passive is literally broken. Next, he checks out the hero's stats. Suho's magic power is sitting at a massive 9, and that's the max. But Hajin just shattered that ceiling, pushing his own luck to 9.1. With luck handled, he pivots to perseverance. He's gotta survive the training ahead. Good thing he buffed luck first, because it's supercharging his perseverance too. His lucky streak makes every point spent work twice as hard now. He's feeling pretty smug. These investments are already looking legendary. But then the screen flickers. A red warning pops up out of nowhere. Error, tampering with probability, has officially broken the game's logic. The system realizes he's basically cheating and decides to slap him down. Loophole closed. No more using story points to manipulate his abstract stats. Hajin is definitely annoyed, but hey, if he kept this up, he'd be untouchable. The system had to nerf him, otherwise the story would just break. His gimmicks hit a wall, but those high luck and perseverance stats, still there. He's built a solid foundation. It's enough to handle the coming storms. He should be able to clear most hurdles now, but another thought hits. 10,000 story points for being a novice. That's a lot of potential power. He needs to be smart, no more rushing. He decides to save the rest. For now, they're on ice. The next morning, it's time for actual class. The professor steps up. Meet Kim Sayuk, their lead instructor for the year. This guy is a global heavy hitter, one of the most capable heroes around. He's ranked at intermediate grade 5. In this world, that's serious business. Introduction finished, the man gets straight to the point about their new home. He warns them, this place, the Cube, it isn't just some ordinary school. A luxurious playground for cadets to enjoy, but there is a catch. Your grades are everything. Fail to keep them up and you are done. One slip and you are expelled. Simple as that, it is brutal here. Only half these cadets will actually make it through the entire program. Most will quit. This place only wants the elite, the next heroes. Because of that, the standards they judge by are beyond harsh. Time to move. The instructor orders everyone to follow his lead immediately. Today's first task, every cadet must choose their primary weapon for combat. They enter the armory and freeze. Rows of terrifyingly beautiful weapons everywhere. But the awe does not last long. Their teacher shuts it down. This is not playtime. He barks at them to pick something now. But here is the catch. Once you pick, there is no going back. You are locked into your choice for at least 6 months. No exceptions. Pick the wrong tool now, and you are stuck with it for months. Kim Seo, the story's main protagonist, heads straight for a classic sword. He looks right at home with it. Nearby, another girl grabs a bow. She thinks the path of an archer fits her style the best. Then there is the blonde cadet, opting for a rapier for precision strikes. Whips, spears, you name it. Everyone is grabbing their gear for battle. Hajin watches them. They are all picking weapons without a second thought. It looks easy for them, but Hajin has a much harder choice ahead. He cannot worry about them. He needs a weapon that fits him perfectly. He has to be extremely careful. Even one small mistake could be fatal. His situation is different. See, his current stats are actually quite pathetic. He cannot compete with the others using heavy swords or long spears. Even shields are a no-go, so he sets some ground rules for himself. He needs a strategy, 2 conditions to narrow down the perfect weapon. 1, it has to be a weapon used in his old world. 2, he must be able to adapt to it almost instantly. With those rules in mind, Hajin finally reaches out and makes his move. But his choice, it leaves every student and even the teacher stunned. The room goes silent. The instructor looks at him, completely and utterly baffled. He asks Hajin directly, "Is that gun really what you want?" It is a literal case of bringing a gun to a knife fight. The teacher stares. He remembers this kid was a sword user back home. Why the sudden change? Hajin needs an excuse and he needs it fast. He plays it cool. I just changed my mind, he tells the instructor. Surprisingly, the teacher accepts that, but he still does not get the logic. Why throw away years of sword training the moment you join the academy? Fine, the instructor logs the choice. In the cube, you choose your fate. But he is clearly frustrated. He gives Hajin one final, grim warning. Remember, kid, whatever happens next, this choice is on your head alone. Right then, Hajin's super hearing kicks in. The world gets very loud. He hears the whispers clearly. The other students are already laughing at him. A gun, they think he is a joke. They have no clue. A gun in an academy for elite heroes. People are literally wondering if he is insane. Most instructors do not even bother with him, calling him a desperate attention seeker. But despite the losers mocking him, Hajin knows better than anyone else. He believes firearms are actually reliable here. They are the ultimate equalizer for normal people who lack those flashy magical superpowers. And the bullets. They are not your average ammo. Magic bullets come preloaded with concentrated mana. When fired, the impact is way more devastating and lethal than any standard round. But honestly, that is where the perks end. There is a big reason why guns are treated like absolute trash here. They just cannot grow in power. Look at Kim Horak. He proves the point by simply shattering a bullet with his bare fists. Talk about a reality check. Hajin explains further that a magic bullet's ceiling is fixed. It does not matter who pulls the trigger. The damage stays the same. Then there is the issue of their physical build. Guns have weak origins and formations. See, this world is a bit different from ours. Here, ancient myths and legendary tales actually manifest as physical objects. These relics are forged into weapons, giving the lucky owners a massive advantage. The older the legend behind the weapon, the more powerful its spiritual formation. This determines the item's grade, which is basically the most important factor here. Because of this hierarchy, no sane cadet would ever pick a modern weapon. Modern gear has no history, making its origin point incredibly weak and useless. Everyone wants those ancient medieval blades because they are just naturally stronger. Most fighters do not rely on fixed bullet damage. They use their skills to push their weapons to the limit, causing their growth to skyrocket instantly. They transcend their limits through that legendary power. But for Hajin, everything he just explained is completely useless to him. He gets zero benefits. And let us be real, he is definitely not the protagonist of this story. He has no idea how to swing a sword. His melee skills, absolute garbage. He would be dead last compared to the other cadets. But deep down, Hajin knows he chose a gun for a reason. He actually knows how to use it. Plus, it is the perfect way to rack up those precious story points. Just carrying a pistol makes him stand out like a sore thumb. The more relevant he becomes to the plot, the more points he earns. That is exactly what he is banking on. Now that the weapon is sorted, he needs talent. In this world, talent isn't just a skill, it is a unique special ability. Honestly, it is more like a superpower. Most people are born with only one. That is the rule anyway. But of course, some people are just built different. Take our actual protagonist, Suho. He is not even fully awakened yet, but the guy already fights like a legendary sword saint. We then see Suho meeting up with Non to get some training in. But his typical dense protagonist attitude really ticks her off. She honestly cannot figure out how a guy like him is rank 1. Suho quickly pivots and mentions another top student in their class. Non is confused for a second until she realizes he is talking about Hajin. Just hearing that name makes her face scrunch up in disgust. To her, calling Hajin a top student is nothing but a bad joke. He is clearly the bottom of the barrel. Non honestly can't believe anyone respects him when he's packing such a tiny, pathetic pistol with zero range. She's convinced the guy just gave up on being a hero and settled for garbage weapons. She starts wondering if this is Hajin's way of failing out mid-year. But Suho isn't having any of her rude remarks. He immediately calls her out for judging the situation way too quickly. Non just blinks back at him, looking totally lost and confused by his defense. She snaps at him, saying he's wasting her time instead of actually training. Little do they know, Our boy Hajin is actually just napping and wondering if bad-mouthing earns him points. Now that's a genius move, right? What do you think? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Anyway, back to Hajin. He knows the main character, Suo, will become a legend through his unique gift. That means choosing the right power is everything for him too. He refuses to blow this chance to buy his first ability. Opening his manual, Hajin starts writing a special dead-eye gift for himself. It is an insane ability that guarantees perfect precision with any long-range weapon. Just like that, his new power is set, but it cost him dearly. 10,000 SB points vanished instantly. But hey, the system is crazy advanced. It auto-updates his stats, throwing in bonus perks like a bullet time mode. This isn't just for guns either. It works for anything with range. Even traditional bows. Plus, here is the best part, it is a growth-type skill. So even if it looks weak now, it will eventually become absolutely broken. It is a long-term play, and Hajin is finally feeling good about his odds. With his prep work done, he is ready for whatever this world throws next. He is putting everything on this one gift, hoping to survive until the end. We are following him right into the next scene, where class is in session. The teacher is lecturing the cadets about conquering dangerous towers and dark dungeons. Hajin finds it hilarious. Why? Because the teacher is literally quoting his novel. Imagine sitting through a lecture based on textbooks you wrote yourself. Pure gold. He is basically on cruise control, leaning back and enjoying the easy class. He starts testing his observation and reading gifts to see what they can do. His observation gift is wild. It lets him see through things with ease. He can even read his laptop screen without looking directly at the device. Soon, the teacher tells them to study hard because the written exams are coming up fast. Nan is absolutely over it, looking bored and totally frustrated. She can't stand another second of this. Suddenly, an announcement interrupts their class. Everyone is ordered to the plaza immediately. Nan is thrilled to finally escape. Our boy Hajin is not thrilled, but it is time for practical training. Arriving at the arena, the instructor starts going over the training details. The teacher assumes they know the basics, so they are moving straight to teams. They are forming groups of 4, 2 warriors, a sniper, and 1 support. Let's see how our boy handles this sudden shift into high-stakes action. The training ground is massive, and the tension is definitely starting to rise. Every student is looking around, sizing up the competition and their own partners. It is a classic setup: 2 frontline tanks, a long-range dealer, and 1 utility. And get this, these teams are permanent for the rest of the year. Everything is chill until those mid-semester exams finally roll around. You know it. Squads must be balanced with elite and low-ranking cadets. Fair play. The instructor gives the order, go find your teammates, right now. Hajin checks the status board and wait, he is not with Suo or Nans. Worst of all, he is stuck with the one person he wanted to avoid. It is Yanha, seriously. Hajin can barely believe his eyes as he stares in shock. Things are playing out exactly like the novel. The pieces are falling into place. See, these characters were written to clash with the hero and drive the plot. They make things happen, but out of everyone, Yanha is something special. Forward she goes. Among all those characters, Yanha is clearly the most special. Stunning purple hair and the top favorite cadet of Korea's best guild. She is the essence of the straight star, and that is not all. She is the successor of the Yu family. Her family background is incredibly strong. In the original novel, Suho was supposed to oppose Yanha at first. Eventually, they become close friends. Hajin knows he needs that same bond. It is his ticket to becoming a major player, so Hajin locks in. Getting close to her will allow him to earn even more story points. He needs to become a more important character. Now, let us watch him. With a determined look, Hajin is ready to do whatever it takes for her. He needs her attention. Now, the rest of the team comes to greet her. Besides Hajin, we have Hasung and Hyuzuki, a team of 4 just as planned. Yanha is a calculating genius. She hesitates at first, weighing her options. She contemplates speaking with them before finally accepting them as her teammates. What is funny is that she acts surprisingly formal once she starts talking. She is super polite with them. Both of her teammates are totally taken aback. Yeona turns her attention to the final member of the group. Hajin steps up. He is nervous, but he cannot show any weakness here. If he does not act confident, Yeona will definitely have a sour relationship. Suddenly, Ha-sung ruins the vibe. He starts mocking Hajin for picking a gun. He calls him a hot shot. He just keeps rambling on and on. He is chatting carelessly, with no idea that the teacher is right there. The instructor is about to reprimand him severely for talking out of turn. Ha-sung is startled when their instructor roars, "Time to begin the hunting mission." Every team gets their orders pushed directly to their smartwatches. Let's go. The team gets moving, pacing through the grain field. This is it. Yanha checks her smartwatch. They are getting really close to the target now. She tells the team to brace themselves and prepare for what is coming. More info on the monster will be revealed once they hit the location. While the others are coasting, Hajin is absolutely dying back there. He needs some David Goggins-level grit because he has never run this much. Despite his decent stamina stats, he is barely hanging on by a thread. To make matters worse, it is not like his teammates are going fast. They represent the absolute average, standard for a cube cadet, nothing special. Yanha and the others stop. They have finally arrived at the target location. This part of the map is called the 8th Coast. Let us see. Welcome to the training zone. Out there, a massive monster is waiting to strike. Right on cue, the black hump octopus surfaces, crushing the boat in its massive tentacles. Before jumping into this suicide mission, Yona wants everyone on the same page regarding strategy. They need a plan and they need it now. Let's talk. Their target is a low intermediate grade beast. Its physical strength, surprisingly weak. The real threat, those weird humps growing right on top of its head. It senses danger and spits out a swarm of baby octopuses. These little things are pure nightmare fuel, bloodthirsty, lethal, and ready to drain you dry. They are murderous little creatures, and every single one can turn a human into a mummy. Hung suggests they immediately target the swarm of babies as soon as the fight begins. Hazuki thinks they need a sharpshooter, so she naturally points toward our main man, Hajin. But Yanha isn't having it. She claims she can handle the babies alone. She tells the team to hold back. They need one massive hit. This thing regenerates instantly, so they cannot afford to miss their window. Yanha's cold dismissal feels wrong. Hajin can see right through her icy attitude. She's totally freezing him out. In her eyes, he isn't even worth being part of this. Then, the Ice Queen asks if the rest of her team is ready. Operations start. While they move out, Hajin is just standing there, feeling totally disrespected by her. The monster erupts, smashing the boat while Ha-sung draws its aggro. He makes enough noise to lure the beast right toward the shore. Perfect bait. Now the monster is furious. It charges at Ha-sung with some insane speed. Ha-sung sees the size of that thing and immediately starts running. Hazuki is set, but Hajin is sweating, just gripping his tiny little Glock. Yanha is the only one who looks ready, whip in hand, eyes locked. Just like they planned, the beast feels threatened and launches its baby army. Ha-sung is losing his mind. He's the target, and those babies are coming fast. A wave of murderous little monsters is heading straight for his throat. Before they reach him, Yanha steps up like royalty, shredding them all with her whip. She stands there looking absolutely majestic. You can tell her teammates are impressed. Don't forget, she's the 7th strongest cadet in the entire cube. She tells Hong to get lost while she holds the line against the beast. Her whip lashes out, but it only makes the octopus go completely berserk. Huge tentacles smash the ground as she gracefully leaps into the air. But look, a sneaky baby octopus is launching a surprise attack from behind. Hazuki screams out a warning, but it might be too late for Yanha. Suddenly, a shot rings out. The creature drops before it can touch her. It was Hajin. His bullet saved her life when she least expected it. Yanha looks annoyed, but she's finally forced to use his name for once. Let's take a quick break to discuss those SB points. Basically, you and I can see these are traded for stat upgrades. They also go up whenever Hajin becomes more important to the plot. The more he impacts the main cast, the more points he gets. Since he was supposed to be a nobody, every action carries weight. His score is rising fast. Now, back to the intense training. This story is just getting started, so stay with me. Let's be real, standing out as a background character, it is nearly impossible. The main cast already hogs the spotlight. So the only way for Hajin to finally matter is to dive right into the hero's story and help out. That is why he saved Yanha's life. That single shot stunned the whole team. Distracted, Yanha tells him to stay back. She never expected him to fight. But while she is busy talking, that giant octopus has a nasty surprise waiting. It spawns a bunch of mini clones for the group to deal with. Yanha readies her weapon, but some are heading straight for Hajin. Not a problem for him, though. He reads their moves like an open book. He shuts his eyes, focusing every ounce of energy on performing his best in the given moment. He triggers bullet time, a special gift the system built for him. It slows everything down to a crawl for exactly 3 seconds. Total focus. Long enough for Hajin to turn into an absolute god-tier marksman. He locks onto every single target in the blink of an eye. And then he opens fire, before those 3 seconds even run out. He has blasted every creature to pieces, even the ones creeping up on Yanha. Time resumes. His bullets fly, turning those octopuses into total purple mush. Now is the chance. Yanha sees the opening to hit the boss monster. She snaps her whip around its head and shouts for the team to strike. Hakuseng and Huzuki jump in, unleashing a massive magic blast together. That powerful combo finishes it. The black-humped octopus is finally toast. Its gross brains splatter across the sand. It is over, finally at last. Totally drained, Hajin collapses, standard anime style. Then come the results. The team's score is tallied up. Total time, under 1 hour. Not exactly a world record, but it lands them 16th on the board. Just like that, the first monster round is in the books. Out of 100 teams, they have secured the 16th spot. Yanha is shocked. Luckily, a drone caught the whole fight on video. They can use that footage later to fix their mistakes and improve. Now, you and I might think 16th is great, but for Yanha, it is no success. For her, it is just a total failure. It gets worse. Non managed to grab an even better score. Her rival's team took 4th place out of the entire group. Yanha wanted to show off her family's power, but this is a disaster. This is just embarrassing. Then there is Jonghak, that arrogant punk. He clearly has a thing for Non, just staring at her from afar. Fuming, Yanha storms over to Non, her blood absolutely boiling with rage. But she flips the switch instantly, acting like the world's absolute fakest best friend. She starts fishing for details on how Non's team did so well. Non is actually annoyed with 4th. She really wanted to beat Jonghak. That was her floor. Yanha admits her team only hit 16th place. Yona is calm on the outside, but inside, she is screaming her head off. She is beyond livid, but Non is actually impressed with that score. Especially since Yanha has a supposed loser like Hajin on her team. She blames him for the low rank, but stick with me, Yanha knows better. Now she finally knows the truth. The reason she treated him that way is. It took 50 minutes to travel to the location due to Hajin's terrible stamina. If he were faster, they would have arrived in 10 minutes and finished early. But apart from that, his performance has been incredibly impressive to her. He was a total lifesaver during the monster battle they just faced. Yanha clearly remembers how he shot down every single one of the baby monsters. He blasted them with his gun before they could even reach the team. Yanha wonders if an achievement like that is possible with regular magic bullets. Since Hajin's feats seem effortless and strong, her disinterest has totally vanished. Suddenly, she is burning with curiosity about the man's true identity. As for Hajin, he's just finished a brutal workout at the gym. He's pushing himself to build better stamina after what happened back there. The author explains that Hajin forgot to check his alarms while training. He wonders how many points he gained while his luck was helping him out. With his luck at max potential, his accuracy for defeating monsters has skyrocketed. His gift has also experienced growth. Now every single shot is a bullseye. Hajin's senses like eyesight and hearing have sharpened to an insane degree. Plus, his overall story points increased by another 27. Remembering his performance in the monster round, Hajin reflects on his luck. It played a key role then too, helping out with his SB points. His plan to involve himself with Yanha is going perfectly so far. It's helping him gain all the points he needs for his stats. Strength, endurance, and health all experienced a boost, amplified by his luck. Since Hajin has worked on his stats this much, he ends his session. He believes he should conclude his training for the day and head home. Back at her dorm room, Yanha is busy reviewing the fight footage. She was specifically drawn to Hajin's crazy shooting skills from the round. He was able to shoot 60 bullets in just 3 seconds with one handgun. For reference, Yanha tried to imagine shooting 20 bullets every second. It seemed impossible with a handgun, making her wonder about his weapon. She questioned if it was actually some kind of hidden automatic pistol. She also noted his stats. Hajin's agility was great, but the rest, low. His typical health and physicality were lower than all the other cadets. To top it off, he had switched weapons out of the blue during selection. Yanha's sharp senses told her that something was definitely wrong here. She doesn't even remember this guy from the military academy either. While she was contemplating, Yanha received a message from young Hawk. She told him that she was busy analyzing the battle footage. Yanha wanted to see if she had struck gold for her future guild. She obviously plans to take over the top guild in Korea later. But young Hawk was surprised and didn't think anyone there was special. More importantly, he wanted to know about that mysterious shooter. His performance was the only one young Hawk was curious about. With a smile, Yanha was excited her crush was finally showing interest. She commented that he was doing just okay for his rank, which was ranked in the 900s among cadets. Jong Hawk was stunned, wondering if Hajin just got lucky. Yanha reflected on that too. Was his performance really just a lucky fluke? Or did he actually have something hidden? With that, our focus shifts elsewhere. Over at the Holy Grace of God Guild headquarters, the vice captain was obsessed. She couldn't look away from Suo. His performance was nothing short of stellar. Sunga, the guild's second in command, was completely captivated by his combat footage. She marveled at his precision. Every move Suho made was calculated and perfect. His swordsmanship was legendary, something never seen from a cadet before. He moved with such grace, it looked like a gentle, deadly dance. Then there was that terrifying force, a strike that literally sliced through space. Korea's top 3 guilds all had their sights set on this young monster. They were desperate to recruit him. Suna was leading the charge herself. She wanted him signed immediately, especially since he was still a free agent. But then a new name caught her interest, the mysterious Kim Hajin. It sounded crazy, but she was shocked he chose a handgun as a weapon. Her assistant confirmed the rumors. The guild community was already buzzing about him. Everyone was rewatching the footage because Yanha was on his team. They came for her, but they stayed for him. The forums were exploding. How did he fire 60 rounds from a pistol in just 3 seconds? It made 0 sense. Even with insane agility, the physics just don't work. That handgun should have shattered from the sheer force of the recoil. His talent was a total mystery, wrapped in a layer of pure allure. People are already calling him unorthodox. Suna also found out something even stranger. He had ditched his sword for that handgun right after joining the academy. Making such a massive change at a prestigious school, that takes guts. Suna realized he might have achieved enlightenment the moment a gift manifests. It is that rare instant when a person finally discovers their true talent. You never know what power you'll get until it actually happens. Some cadets switch weapons immediately if their new gift doesn't match their blade. It's a desperate move to align their gear with their actual abilities. But doing this usually creates a massive rift in a warrior's career. It can set a student back at least 3 years, a huge gamble. That is why the academy wants students to master multiple weapons early on. Relying on just one tool is dangerous before your gift is even known. Shunga was baffled. An enlightened warrior at 17, it was almost unheard of. Still, if his power only works with guns, his potential might be limited. Even so, she kept him on the list of potential candidates for recruitment. Shunga decided to wait. It was better to let his talent fully manifest first. She needs to see if he can truly live up to the hype. Can this unorthodox boy reach her high expectations? Only time will tell. Wednesday arrives, and that means one thing: it's time for training. Suo is locked in an intense clash with another talented student. This is the anti-personnel drill, duel versus duel, pure skill on display. They use practice weapons to keep things safe while showing off results. But over on the other side, Kim Ha-jin is getting absolutely roasted. He is officially the worst performer. Seriously, this guy has the absolute worst luck in existence. Even with that passive skill, he is the only student forced to spar against his own teacher rather than a classmate. The result: 18 losses in a row, pure pain. Here is the catch: the training guns aren't actually ready for regular use yet. Using live rounds against students would be a total disaster, causing some serious injuries. So the instructor stepped up personally to handle the situation himself. He takes charge of Ha-jin. Our main character is suffering and begging for mercy. He wants to surrender, but his teacher ignores the whining and readies a heavy punch. Right before the fist lands, Ha-jin somehow evades a massive strike that completely shatters the floor below. The teacher is stunned. Ha-jin doesn't stop there, dodging 2 more incoming punches effortlessly. The instructor starts to realize something. This kid might look like a total disaster with terrible posture, but those eyes, they are godly when it comes to tracking attacks. Clairvoyance is the secret, another skill Ha-jin got from his incredible dead eye gift. It sharpens his senses, letting him predict exactly where his target is going to move. This lets Ha-jin narrowly dodge everything. He can see the hits coming, but there's a problem. Actually moving his body to dodge is the hard part. Meanwhile, the other students are watching him. They just assume he is being clumsy and lazy out there. They might be mocking him for being a loser, but his story points just jumped 40. 40 points. He got exactly what he wanted, though he really hates being the local joke. It is frustrating to be laughed at. After that brutal training, Ha-jin finally takes a break. He grabs a drink to relax. Looking over, he spots Yeonha walking right past him. She has got this look of pure disgust, treating him like he's just some inferior nobody. It is ironic, really. He is the author who actually created her personality first. Since he is feeling experimental today, he decides to call out to her suddenly. He shouts Yeonha's name and tosses a drink. She catches it with lightning-fast reflexes. Confused, she asks if he is trying to pick a fight. His charisma is so bad that she honestly thinks he is launching an attack. Ha-jin has to clear the air. He explains he's just showing some gratitude for her help during that tough training session. This little experiment might seem simple, but in his mind, it's actually quite important. He needs to know how many story points he'll get from a main character interaction. Interacting with the big stars usually pays off way better than dealing with side characters. He usually gets 40 points from background actors. Yeonha just tosses the drink back. She warns the idiot never to address her so casually again. Consider this a final warning. He shouldn't take it lightly. As she turns away, Ha-jin just smirks to himself. He is grinning because he already got exactly what he wanted. Later, as Yeonha is carrying her bag outside, she suddenly notices it feels a bit heavier than it should. Sensing the change, she opens it up and finds another hidden can inside. Our sneaky author managed to plant a second drink right in her bag. Smooth. This earns him more of her hatred. She is tempted to smash it but stops herself. The innocent can didn't do anything wrong, after all. You see, when it comes to her, she secretly loves junk food like burgers and soda, but she would never buy it. Her family's reputation is way too important for that. That is the secret. This experiment relied on Ha-jin exploiting a side of her that nobody else knows. It is a secret only he holds. Plus, he did not actually do anything wrong. Secrets that no one else should know. What is more, he did not really all right. Earning easy points from a quick chat is the perfect motivation to act. He is ready to jump into the main plot since he knows exactly what is next. Hajin is certain the demonic human ambush at the weapons museum is coming soon. Demonic humans are straight-up evil, villains who have made a dark pact. They trade their souls to a demon for a massive boost in power. Now, demons use them as puppets to carry out their dirty work. This upcoming hit will be led by a hidden killer inside the museum. Their goal, eliminating a specific target, but in the original story, they lose. Suho and the rest of the main cast eventually take the villain down. This is the big moment where Suho finally earns everyone's recognition and respect. Suho and Non are the ones destined to lead the fight here. Since this is just the beginning, the villain isn't actually that tough. It is the very first enemy Suho faces in the entire series. Knowing the future, Hajin is already thinking of ways to change things. While he is plotting his move, an instructor suddenly starts shouting at him. He's caught standing idly outside the dorms and gets a harsh scolding. Hajin just grabs his laptop and bolts. Right then, he gets a message. A mysterious system message pops up, but its contents are still a secret. Inside this institution, students can join all sorts of different clubs. Cadets register for these groups to start their own independent activities. You've got clubs for academics, hardcore martial arts, and even hobbies. From simple painting to playing music, there is a club for everything. Hundreds of clubs exist here, and their biggest perk is the networking. They're perfect for personal growth and getting to know other cadets. So the day finally comes for Hajin to join a club himself. He heads to the gate and picks the travel club, led by Han Hyun. The president, Han Hyun, is incredibly excited to welcome the first-year members. When he first saw the applications, he could not believe his eyes. He's been blessed with some truly amazing cadets for this new season. Welcoming everyone aboard, Han Hyun highlights the club's one and only goal. They are here to rest. It sounds simple, but it is necessary. They can actually access a portal up to twice a month for trips. For their first trip, the president says they are visiting a nearby city. That location, it's none other than Seoul, the massive capital of Korea. Hajin realizes a trip to Seoul will be easy to manage in pairs. So far, every single detail is matching the novel perfectly. No surprises yet. Hajin reviews his plan for the day: survive the museum story arc. He needs to be right there for the first major story arc in the city. Once he arrives at that museum with the main cast, things will shift. But then, the president, Han Hyun, tells everyone to draw lots for their partners. This catches Hajin off guard. The groups were never formed this way. Still, it doesn't really bother him. He's fine moving on his own. He'll just handle things himself regardless of who his partner ends up being. But wouldn't you know it, he gets paired with Yanha of all people. Being herself, Yanha immediately makes sure to lay down the ground rules. They should just go their separate ways. Hajin is totally fine with that, leaving her alone. But before he leaves, Yanha spins around, and man, looks could actually kill right now. Her face says it all. She'll kill him if he ever speaks so casually again. That's strike two. Hajin just earned a final warning because she is definitely not playing. She isn't letting him off next time, but Hajin, he just shrugs and keeps moving. He accepts his fate and heads out. Now, let's head over to the National Weapons Museum. This place is ground zero for the story's very first major arc. It's absolutely massive. It's the biggest hall for weapon replicas in the whole country, a true sanctuary for gearheads. It's an incredible sight, but Hajin just weaves through the crowd, looking completely bored. He notices Non off to his left. She's staring at one specific weapon like she's possessed. Since she's here, Hajin knows the real star of this story has to be somewhere nearby. And there he is, Suho, standing just ahead, quietly examining a blade on his own. Since Suho is the hero, Hajin decides to strike up a chat about the seven-branch sword. He introduces himself too, which finally rings a bell for Suho. The pieces start to click. Suho remembers him now. He's that sharpshooter who recently joined the travel club. Hajin takes a second to look at Suho. He was written to be the perfect hero. Strong, handsome, and incredibly kind. Basically, he's the ultimate cheesy protagonist. Back in his world, readers used to spam hate comments about how unrealistic this guy was. Man, I guess haters are going to hate no matter what world you are in. Suddenly, Suho mentions a gun exhibit nearby. He actually wants Hajin to go check it out together. Hajin agrees, but in the back of his mind, he knows that meeting is never happening. Not with what's about to go down. You and I both know things are getting messy. Out of nowhere, red lights flood the museum. A warning blares through the speakers. Monsters. They're right outside. Just like that, the peaceful atmosphere is shattered by pure terror. People go from excited to horrified in seconds. It's absolute chaos as the panic sets in. Everyone starts screaming and scrambling for the exits. It's every man for himself now. They're shoving and trampling everyone. Logic and common sense have completely left the building. Amidst the screaming, a loud crack echoes. Someone just punched through a thick glass display. That sound stops the crowd dead. One display of pure power was all it took for silence. Even Suho is stunned when he realizes it was Non who smashed the glass. She commands everyone to chill out. She promises the reserve heroes will be here any second. She takes the chance to grab a bow from the exhibit. She's not waiting. She warns the crowd that running outside just makes them easy targets for the monsters. But there's a catch. Breaking that glass triggered the security system, locking everyone inside. Now they're trapped. Non tells everyone to arm themselves. It's time to fight for survival. They need to hold out until the real heroes show up. But then, she senses it. A dangerous presence is lurking in the shadows. Non braces herself for a fight. Someone is coming. A man radiating a dark, blood-red energy steps into view. That violent aura, no mistake. He's a demonic human, and he's behind this whole nightmare. Hajin recognizes him immediately. This villain is known as the Dog of Lucius. In the original story, this guy is a major stepping stone for Suho's growth. The demon lets out his claws, ready to tear Non apart, but wait for it. The villain is so focused on her that he doesn't see the real threat coming. Suho lunges from behind, swinging that 7-branched sword with everything he's got. The blade is inches away from a clean hit. Things are about to get real. The script was clear. Suho was supposed to take this demon down with ease. But then the unthinkable happens. Suho gets blasted by a sudden, devastating strike. A brutal blow from the monster sends him crashing hard against the cold ground. He flops onto the floor right before Hajin's eyes. The author is stunned and speechless. This was not supposed to happen in his story. Suho is down, lying just inches from Naeun, who is totally frozen in shock. She cannot process this. The story Hajin wrote is spiraling out of control. Suho was destined for victory. Even if things started slow, his win was a guaranteed fact. He had the power to simply wipe this demonic human away. That was the intended path, but reality is currently shattering every single expectation. Suho's easy defeat leaves Naeun terrified. She screams his name while coughing blood. He can barely stand. Hajin realizes his main character is in deep, mortal danger, and he certainly doesn't have time to recover from this massive setback. The demon closes in with menacing energy, preparing to deliver the lethal blow. Naeun struggles to find a plan and fires her arrows fast and hard. But this monster is such a tank. He withstands the attack like it was absolutely nothing. A frantic Naeun keeps shooting, but her efforts are all useless. He seems completely invincible, as her arrows just bounce off without a scratch. Realizing her attacks are doing nothing, pure despair finally washes over Naeun's face. Her confidence is shattered. She simply cannot understand how things went so wrong. And get this, the demonic human isn't even using a special skill here. No, he is just taking those hits directly with his raw, physical body. His physical stats are just that insane. Hajin senses a wave of dread for Naeun as the enemy closes the distance with terrifying and lethal speed. The demon unsheathes its claws, aiming right for her face. This looks like the end. But wait, Suho leaps back into the fray with a kick to the monster's face. Thankfully, Naeun's stalling bought him time to get up. Before they can regroup, Suho is sent flying by a wave of dark energy. He barely manages to block the strike, using nothing but his sword. The demon then surprises Suho by transforming, engulfing himself in a thick, shadowy aura. The strength increase is so overwhelming that Suho is slammed back down immediately. Naeun starts firing from behind to delay the inevitable and save Suho's life. The monster turns his focus on her now. A giant claw swings out, targeting her face and smashing her into the wall with total, brutal force. What Hajin witnesses before his eyes is a total disaster. He is horrified. Either of them could die now, that his novel has ignored his script twice. Hajin cannot figure out what is causing things to change so much today. He snaps his laptop open, desperate to find a way to salvage this. Hajin reaches for his bullets with shaking hands, realizing standard mana rounds fail. He knows he cannot hurt him with mana bullets. Even a critical hit would not be enough. But remember, Hajin is the one who created this world. He clings to the hope that the core settings should not change at all. Knowing that, he begins typing on his keyboard, modifying his mana bullet traits. He retools the attributes to suit his purpose. He cranks the attack power up to the absolute maximum to win this fight. He bumped his power to 6, burning through 100 story points for this. Modification complete. Hajin snaps a fresh magazine back into his gun now. Time for war. He knew heroes needed total versatility to survive this. Simple attributes and affinity alone weren't enough. He had to push further. While Suho and the demon were deadlocked, Hajin found his perfect opening. They were caught in a stalemate. One opening was all our guy needed. Darkness was the demon's strength, but Hajin had the perfect counter ready. The only element that could vaporize the shadows, pure light attribute. He calls out to Suho, shouting for him to clear the path immediately. Light command. A bullet of blinding white light forms in the chamber. He fires once. The shot hits home. A brilliant blue beam tears through the demon's form. Its arm is completely obliterated. The monster screams in absolute agony now. Naeun is finally dropped as the dark energy begins to evaporate away. She hits the ground. Hajin steps back, knowing he's done his part. The enemy is broken. Now, it was time for Suho to finish it. His hands are shaking from the power drain, but he's done enough now. He leaves the rest to the protagonist. One final blow to end this. Suho charges his blade, a deep blue aura exploding around his entire body. The Sword Saint's power awakens. Pure, unadulterated magic floods the entire room. This was a slash that could shatter anything in its path. Total destruction. One ultimate strike. The demonic human is erased in a single heartbeat. It's over. The beast falls, and Suho is barely standing after that effort. Both he and Naeun are completely spent. He rushes over to check her. "Are you okay?" he asks, but she's furious, slapping his hand away. Hajin tells him to let her be. Her brother will be here soon. He knew the original script, but he just made a massive mistake. He slipped up. Now, both main characters are staring at him in shock. Why would a lowly extra like him know anything about her family life? Naeun tries to demand answers, but her voice fails her completely. She's too weak to continue. The interrogation would have to wait. Outside, the rest of the monsters are being absolutely shredded by blades. The vice captain clears the field with her dual swords. Crisis averted. Everything's settled out here. Now, she's asking about the situation inside. She hears about the demon human and the cadets who took it down. Impressed by their work, she demands to know their names right now. Her eyes go wide when she hears Naeun, Suho, and Hajin's names. She sprints toward the museum. All she can think about is meeting Suho. Her heart is racing. She needs to see the hero for herself immediately. She's already practicing what to say when Hajin walks right past her. He's heading out when they cross paths. She stops him, full of questions. Before she can even ask for Suho, Hajin points her in the right direction. "He's inside," he says. She freezes, completely caught off guard by him. How did this random kid know exactly what she was looking for today? Just another author blunder. Later, Hajin catches his breath at a nearby park. He definitely didn't expect a run-in with Seung-ah this early in the game. Hajin stares at the screen, wondering if the story's script is finally drifting away. To clear his head, he starts from the very beginning to find the flaw. He always saw himself as just a side character, a meaningless foreign extra. Until now, the plot had been moving forward without a single hitch. So there is no way he could have triggered a massive change like this alone. But then the cold truth hits him like a freight train. He forgot. One massive detail he overlooked: this story actually has a co-author. Trust me, we didn't see that coming. Hajin realizes this whole world is actually a remake of his original novel. It is all based on that mysterious email he got from a fan at the start. That is why the main plot is suddenly spiraling out of his control like this. This means every prediction he's made so far is now completely and utterly useless. Panic sets in because he has zero clue what nightmare is coming next. He opens his laptop to find a message, and it is not good news. A critique is waiting for him. It says the story lacked any real danger. The main character was winning too easily, making the whole journey feel way too safe. Readers were getting bored of the hero swatting away every threat without breaking a sweat. To fix that, the co-author decided to crank up the difficulty to max. Every boss character from now on is going to be 10 times stronger than before. Chaos is coming, and it does not matter if it breaks the logic. Later, the instructor calls both Hajin and Suho in to discuss the incident. He keeps the report brief, focused more on making sure they are both mentally okay. For now, the specifics of the fight aren't as important as their recovery. Suho, looking worried, immediately asks how Naeun is doing after everything. He learns she's on medical leave and has already gone home with her family. The instructor tells them both to head back to the dorms and rest up. As they leave, Suho pulls Hajin aside, his voice dropping to a serious tone. The blue-haired hero isn't letting this go. He needs to know the truth right now. He demands to know why Hajin said those things to Naeun earlier. Why would he bring up her brother like that? Hajin plays dumb for a second. Then he remembers. He starts to explain, but that co-author email stops him cold. Instead of coming clean, he shuts down and asks why Suho even cares so much. Suho isn't an idiot. He is visibly annoyed that Hajin is acting like a total fool. He is tired of the games and the dodging. If Hajin won't talk, he's done. He walks away, deciding they will have this conversation when Hajin stops playing around. Now, let's take a closer look at Ki Naeun's character together. She graduated 4th in her class and is a rising star at the Cube. Her talents are legendary, backed by the massive power of the Ki family. She is the daughter of Shinhyuk and the little sister of the famous Ki Jinyun. Hajin knows those names well as he digs deeper into her hidden history. He still cannot wrap his head around her explosive reaction to her brother. But then, a news report pops up on his screen that explains the tragedy. Ki Jinyun is in critical condition after a monster raid went horribly wrong. The hero was left in a deep coma, his life hanging by a thread. Hajin recognizes the operation immediately, the fiend suppression mission known as Operation Firestorm. It was a bloodbath, and he knows exactly how it is supposed to end. This event was supposed to be the perfect stage for Jin Yun to build his reputation. By stopping the threat, he would have become much closer with the main story's protagonists. For little Non, the only thing that brought a spark to her eyes was her brother's success. Watching him become a hero was her whole world, but things are about to get dark. The story has completely derailed now, moving far away from anything the author originally intended. Instead of glory, Jin Yun was the one who fell, leaving Non scarred by the trauma. Suddenly, Hajin gets a system mail. Any more plot twists will be revealed as he spots them. The system is tracking every single modification to the original script in real time now. It also mentions that Jin Yun's brother and the protagonist's supporter, Kim Seo, have changed. In this version of the story, these two characters have undergone some pretty massive transformations. A sequence of disasters begins to unfold. The injured hero is barely clinging to his life. After taking an absolutely brutal, crushing strike, he can hardly even keep his eyes open. The co-author realized the main lead had way too many supporters helping him out already. They made the necessary changes to ensure some of those allies were permanently removed from play. Sadly, poor Jin Yun was the one chosen to be taken out of the picture. 4 years ago, right after becoming a hero, Jin Yun was turned into a demon seed. This was much more terrifying than anything Hajin could have imagined in his wildest dreams. He never could have predicted a horrifying plot twist like this happening to his own character. The scene shifts to Nan's place. A radio report is detailing a sudden monster attack. 7 people are dead and 50 injured at the National Museum. It's a total tragedy. Nan is absolutely devastated. She can't bear the news and shuts the radio off immediately. She sulks in her bed, alone in her grief, until her worried father comes bursting in. He's frantic, calling her name. Nan looks at him and wonders why he's not working. Shin Huk doesn't give a damn about his job right now. He's only worried about her. Since she's at the hospital, he insists she gets a full medical checkup right away. He needs to be absolutely sure she's okay, but Nan pretends to be just fine. She's trying her best not to make her father worry any more than he already is. She even thinks he's doing too much by visiting her, but he's just a concerned dad. No matter what she says, he cares for his daughter more than anything in this world. Nan looks at her father and asks to see Jin Yun just once before her discharge. Seeing her in such a fragile state, her father finally approves her heartbreaking request. Let's go back to Jin Yun's demise and figure out what demon seeds actually are. Demons are the most powerful entities in this world, stronger than humans or even fiends. They're the top of the food chain, and they have one terrifying ability you'll hate. They possess the power to target humans and turn them into these demonic seeds. Humans marked as demon seeds eventually enter an incubation period, which is basically a parasite. The seed acts just like a parasite, slowly feeding on its host's very life force. Before long, the demon seed takes over the host's body and soul completely. The person is gone, replaced by a fully transformed demon. There's no turning back. This means Jin Yun's condition is critical. One day, he will become a monster himself. The incubation usually lasts 5 years. Since it's been 4 years, his time is up. He's nearing the breaking point. Very soon, Jin Yun will transform into a full demon. The clock is ticking toward his end. Nan is now on her way to see him. As his little sister enters the room, she has no idea what's coming for him. Hajin can only watch in silence, reflecting on this cold and incredibly grim reality. All right, you and I know there is only one real solution here. Before the demon takes over, you have to act immediately. Ending a life is the only way, and that is Nan's dark plan. Standing over her brother's unconscious body, she prepares to speak. But let's be real, we both know this mission is basically a suicide run. Stopping Jin Yun before he turns into a monster is nearly impossible. It is a hopeless task. No mercenary would ever take this job. It is a dangerous target, especially with the family succession on the line. Jin Yun is the heir, and his transformation is happening in secret. There are 0 physical signs, so nobody can actually intervene. Here is the biggest problem: the demon inside him is far too powerful. Even our main guy, Kim Suho, would be completely crushed by it. Hajin knows that if the heroes tried to stop him, people would die. Taking down a demonic Jin Yun would cost way too many innocent lives. To stop that nightmare, Hajin is ready to do whatever it takes. He must halt the germination. These heroes are vital for the future. The future is at stake. Meanwhile, Nan watches over her sleeping brother. Hajin feels a chilling, crushing weight settling deep in his chest. He realizes the grim truth. He has to be the one to do it. One heinous act now, to prevent a much darker future for everyone. She speaks softly to her brother, reliving the terror of today's attack. That monster attack was unlike anything she had ever faced before. No regular cadet could have stood a chance against a fiend that strong. It hurts her pride to admit it, but Hajin really saved them. That sharpshooter saved them, but she keeps it to herself. She stays quiet about him, then realizes her visiting time is over. She heads out, hoping she can return to see him very soon. Suddenly, she freezes in place. A heavy sense of dread washes over her. She tried to suppress the memory, but Hajin's words are stuck there. Those cold eyes and those cutting words, She just cannot forget them. It felt like he was just bullying her in her weakest moment. Her eyes flare with anger, but meanwhile, over at the tower. Let's head to the Tower of Heroes and see what Suna is doing. She is digging through classified files, risking her entire career. If she gets caught, she is finished. She needs those museum records. Even while breaking the law, she can't shake this nagging concern. Her illegal search finally pays off. She finds something huge. Light magic was found all over the corpse of that defeated demon. That means whoever killed him is a master of the light attribute. You don't just stumble into that power. This was intentional. A light user appearing from nowhere, that is beyond exciting. This kind of hero would be the ultimate target for the fiends. Fiends are made of darkness, so light is their one true weakness. Suna wants this mysterious talent, and she wants them on her team. As she watches the footage, a specific memory starts to resurface. Only 3 cube cadets visited the museum, which means only one of them must carry a light attribute. Siu and Non are obvious picks, as they are already being scouted for their incredible talents. But the vice captain is way more curious about the unidentified 3rd cadet. To her absolute shock, the final cadet is revealed to be Kim Hajin himself. The same guy who literally bumped into her at the museum right before he left. While she is reeling, our boy is busy clicking away on his invisible laptop. Just like me right now, our author reaches a new level of pure enlightenment. Turns out, no one in this world can even see the laptop he is working on. This lets him monitor the story's progress without worrying about characters watching him work. Once he knew the laptop was invisible, Hajin added a secret extra feature. Now, his laptop gives him instant alerts whenever the plot starts to shift. Immediately, his laptop pings. In the training center, Rachel is wrecking poor Demian. This girl handed him nearly 20 losses until he started begging for a swap. Hajin's newest upgrade is all about detection and real-time alteration of the story. If something shifts within 30 meters of original events, he gets a loud alert. This is the perfect way to spot unusual events before they spiral out of control. He can't just sit around waiting for messages or hope he notices every detail alone. By using this method, he is making sure he stays ahead of any twists. But as happy as he is, he certainly did not expect a bloodthirsty Non. She pops up behind him, distraught and furious, demanding a sparring match right now. Hajin just looks at her and says no, fighting her wouldn't benefit him. Non calls him a total coward and starts lashing out about her family secrets. The rest of the students are watching, wondering if a full-blown brawl is coming. Hajin explains he won't fight because his bullets could deal her some serious injuries. Non takes this as pure condescension, which only makes her even more livid. Luckily, the instructor arrives just in time to shut the whole argument down. He screams at Non for trying to fight Hajin, especially without training weapons. Given the risks of serious injury, Hajin is officially banned from sparring with students. Non storms off in a rage, leaving Hajin realizing an apology is probably impossible. He admits it was a pretty dumb move as an author, but there is no going back. Besides, he has a different priority. He's been training until his hands are bruised. That goal, killing Non's older brother, apologizing feels completely and utterly pointless now. If they get close now, the eventual betrayal will only shatter her heart even more. Non storms off, and Hajin knows it is way too late for any apology. It was a stupid move on his part, but nothing can be done at this point. Instead, he focuses on his different priority, which is why he is training relentlessly. The bruises on his hands prove just how hard he is pushing himself. That priority is killing Non's older brother. An apology would be a total waste. Getting close to her now would only ruin everything between them in the end. It would cause her a deeper betrayal. The tension fades as the scene cuts. Let's head over to a club orientation where a massive group of students gathered. The club president is Yun Hyun, the guy who leads the Veritas study club. Yun Hyun outlines their main goal: monster analysis and specializing in advanced tactics. Their focus is to meet up and engage in active research and field training. They specialize in tactics research, aiming to meet up and engage in active study. All right, orientation is starting. The president begins his speech about monsters. The students are completely mesmerized by his smooth, undeniable charm. But it's all an act, a total facade only the author knows. Our main character, Hajin, realizes Hyeon is secretly using a demon's power. He recalls how the plot begins, centering on the elite Cube Academy. This is the center stage where all the major events will happen. We're talking student disappearances and monster invasions occurring at this level. And the club president, Hyeon, he's a slick bastard pulling the strings. His handsome looks are a lie. Hyeon is actually a master manipulator. He made a dark pact with the demon Lilith for enchanting powers. In exchange, he became a fiend. Hajin knows his true dark goals. That is the real reason why he decided to join this club. Among the cadets, Yanha is the only one who looks totally unimpressed. The president decides to show everyone their routine and monster analysis methods. A massive hologram flickers to life. An upper intermediate beast appears. Meet the mountain tyrant. It first appeared right after the great event. Towers and dungeons invaded their world, and this monster was the result. It's never been defeated. Hyeon explains why this information is worth everything. Knowing about higher-tier monsters is critical for the institution's survival. It's how they plan their attacks, but here's the real kicker. Find a monster's vital point. You can sell that for billions of dollars. Hyeon plays it cool and picks a target from the crowd, Yanha. He asks for her professional opinion on the beast's secret weakness. Yanha shut him down. Those vital points haven't even been discovered yet. Hyeon still claims her opinion matters, since that's exactly what they do for fun. He ends the speech by inviting everyone to the club's big after-party. They can share their opinions on the monster's vitals there. Speech over. Hajin walks over to Yanha and asks if she's planning to attend. She gives him the cold shoulder, zero interest, so he tries again. He literally has to shout just to get her to look at him. She finally confirms. She's going because she needs that monster data. Hajin sees right through her. Is she using it for her guild? That gets her attention. He's talking about the legendary Straits of Essence Guild. They are a total powerhouse, a guild with a very long history. Her clan founded it 50 years ago when the gates first opened. It's easily one of the most influential forces in the entire country. Hajin shocks her by knowing the dirty details of her guild's business. He mentions the Vice Guild Master, who is currently threatening her legacy. Lately, the Vice Guild Master has been stealing the spotlight from everyone else. He's making moves to steal her spot as the next in line. Hajin asks if she's desperate for info just to protect her position. Stop beating around the bush. What are his actual intentions with her? Hajin smiles and makes an offer she literally can't turn down. He is willing to reveal the mountain tyrant's actual secret weakness to her. She's completely stunned, caught off guard. That's exactly what he wanted. It is time for Yanha to prove to her guild that she can lead. She needs to show she is serious. Hajin shares a secret detail. There is a tiny blue mark hidden right on the heel of that beast. Striking that exact spot will freeze the monster for a moment. But he is not just handing this over. He wants a specific trade. He wants a legendary weapon from the secret armory of her powerful guild. The weapon he wants, a desert eagle. Our guy is going full American here. He is pulling out all the stops, but Yanha demands to see some proof. She wants research or notes to back up this supposed weakness he found. Hajin just smiles and admits the truth. He does not have any documentation. It is a crazy thing to admit, giving advice with zero evidence to support. Yanha's face goes blank. She thinks he is just wasting her precious time. She storms off in a rage, but Hajin gives her one final warning. He tells her she will regret it if she thinks he is just lying. There is a risk she will ignore him, but if she listens, he's won. Actually, Yanha goes outside and immediately calls her guild handlers right away. She sends a priority message to the team hunting that huge mountain tyrant. Sounding a bit embarrassed, she tells them to aim for a blue heel mark. She claims it might be a vital point. She is actually taking the gamble. This confirms she is trusting his word, even without seeing any real notes. Hajin knows this was a smart move. Yanha is destined for future greatness. But now, Kim Hajin faces his worst nightmare, a massive loan payment invoice. Playtime is over because this dude just got hit with a huge bill. 300 million won. The look in his eyes is pure soul-crushing terror. He cannot even wrap his head around this debt. Student loans are maxed. He wonders what kind of life his past self lived to owe this. Well, his problems are getting bigger. He checks his actual bank account balance. He is left with only 3 million won to his name right now. That is just a tiny fraction of what he actually owes the institution. At this rate, there is zero chance he will ever get back home. He will be stuck working forever just to pay off this mountain of debt. Hajin realizes he needs a real job. Honestly, most of us can relate. In this world, there are only two ways to make big money fast. Our author explains that the first way is through the stock market. Our guy is trying to become the next legendary Wall Street shark here. Since dungeons and towers appeared, hero guilds have become massive, profitable companies. These guilds are listed on the market, meaning their shares can be traded. Since he wrote the story, he knows exactly which guilds will skyrocket soon. He knows things he shouldn't, but hey, he is the author of this world. The real issue is that he has to find some starting capital first. You and I know that making money usually requires having some money first. He looks around for options. This isn't just a game for him anymore. Every decision matters when you are 300 million in the hole. He has to make a move. He has to start making some real cash. This means his journey to get rich is definitely not going to be easy. That is his immediate goal. But for now, Hajin realizes the open field is his only real shot. Field hunting is a unique way to earn money here. We are talking about danger zones, literally crawling with deadly monsters. Unlike the typical towers or dungeons, these fields offer a massive variety of creatures to hunt for a fortune. It is more like questing than just selling monster corpses. You take the job, you get the gold. However, there is a catch. Hajin himself, his personal stats are terrible. He is barely stronger than the average guy. Honestly, it is pretty bad. His confidence is shaking because he is not sure if he can survive. The author notes that wasting story points to upgrade a basic training pistol is just a bad move. He needs a smarter way to buff his gear or stats. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. Who could that possibly be? It is a delivery alert. A mysterious package has arrived from Cadet Yanha. Hearing her name, Hajin is confused. Why would she suddenly contact him? She is not exactly the social type. He opens the door to check it anyway. What he finds is a small, mysterious box waiting on the porch. Hajin peels the box open and freezes. Whatever is inside completely shocks him. The scene shifts. We are now at the Wonju field in Gangwon province. Our main character has finally made it to his very first hunting event. Dressed in a sharp, clean outfit, Hajin gets a warm send-off. He realizes cadets get respect everywhere they go. He steps out of the portal station and into the heart of Gangwon. This part of the province is usually considered a low-danger zone now. It is a massive tourist hotspot for adventurers coming from all over the world. People call this place the international metropolis. It is vibrant and loud. One man is shouting for a magic specialist to join his party. They want to enter Chak Mountain. There are tons of people like this. Hajin just calmly walks through the crowd, observing how the system works here. He spots an employee, confirming a kill count of 3 hobgoblins. Seeing this, he realizes selling his loot through an agency is the move. It would make everything so much smoother. He starts scouting for a good agent nearby when someone suddenly calls out to him from behind. This stranger seems to have read his mind. Do you want to hunt? The cadet says yes and finds out this nervous guy is an agent. He fumbles with a business card to prove he is actually a professional. Hajin did not expect him to be such an anxious wreck, though. Suddenly, he looks at the agency name on the card and stops cold. It is Park Sayuk. This man is the big shot who will become Suho's agent. He might be nervous now, but he definitely has the talent for this. He will eventually become the CEO of Korea's top leading agency. Hajin finds it weird meeting him this early. He is still a rookie. That is why he is acting so jittery. Hajin takes a special interest. He reaches out and shakes the man's hand. He is ready to be recruited. In his mind, he knows this is just the start of his journey. So many people here have yet to uncover their true potential in life. Watching them bloom into their destiny, he is basically investing in their future connections now. This move is strategic, but suddenly, a curious thought flashes through his mind. This guy is supposed to be Suho's future agent. Is stealing him actually right? He ponders the ethics for a moment. Later, they head toward the monster zone together. Walking toward danger, Hajin checks on the agent. Is he holding up okay? The poor guy looks absolutely wrecked. It is like he has never done cardio before. He is panting and struggling. Honestly, he looks like he might just collapse right here. Cadets are physically elite, while agents usually rely on vehicles to get around. As they reach the danger zone, the agent spots fresh tracks from some hobgoblins. Hobgoblins are not too tough. A pair can sell for 400,000 won. It sounds like a decent profit, but for our main character, that is small change. The agent thinks it is good money. Hajin disagrees. His costs are way too high. A single mana bullet costs 200,000 won. That is one expensive shot. He cannot waste money on weak monsters. He needs a much bigger payout today. Goblins will not cut it. He scans the area for bigger prey. Looking down from the cliff, Hajin spots a massive boar monster. He points it out. The agent panics immediately. That is a steel boar, and they are incredibly dangerous. Bullets usually bounce right off their hide. Their skin is famous for being totally immune. Hajin just shrugs it off. He starts walking forward without a single worry. The agent is left staring in pure shock. To him, this looks like a suicide mission. He thinks Hajin is crazy. Who would pick a fight with a steel boar alone? Hajin just smiles. He knows he is carrying some seriously heavy-duty hardware. He is confident his weapon can drop anything that moves. Absolute confidence here. He just received a very special gift from Manhwa recently. He traded precious intel for it. Now, it is time to see what it can do. He pulls out a desert eagle. It is a masterpiece of lethal beauty and power. He even upgraded it with a brand new feature, using his extra points. The agent begs him to stop. Provoking that beast is a recipe for disaster. But Hajin is daring. He does not give a damn. He locks onto his target. He pulls the trigger. An explosive shot rings through the air. The bullet slices through the beast like a laser. It drops in a single second. The agent stumbles back. He cannot believe his eyes. That was an instant kill. The system reveals the secret. He added a special power amplification feature. Every single kill doubles its destructive power. That is just broken. Do you realize how insane this is? He is becoming completely unstoppable right now. Hajin is satisfied. His new weapon is performing even better than he expected. The agent is speechless. He has never seen shooting skills like this before. He does not even blink. He is already looking for his next target. He takes another shot. Another powerful blast echoes across the landscape. The agent asks what he hit this time. It happened so fast. Hajin explains he saw a black pelican far away and decided to ground it. The agent is stunned. Sniping something that's small in midair, that is impossible. Hajin just laughs it off. He tells the guy he has eagle eyes. Time to go down and collect the loot. He tells the agent to keep up. The agent runs after him. He cannot let this guy out of sight. A black pelican and steel boar are down. Two monsters bagged in quick succession. Hajin asks if the agent is actually able to get these beasts back safely. Sayuk explains it is easier to just pay the fee and call the logistics team. He even runs the numbers on their take-home pay after taxes are settled. Hajin is seriously impressed. That sharp eye for detail is going to make Sayuk famous. That meticulous nature. It is exactly what will turn Sayuk into a national celebrity soon. Sayuk shakes Hajin's hand with total confidence, both hoping this partnership lasts a long time. They are both looking forward to working together again down the road. Sayuk remembers Hajin mentioning this was his first time out in the field hunting. So Sayuk is curious. How is Hajin planning to spend all that new cash? Ever the businessman, Hajin says he is putting it all into the stock market. That answer completely catches Soo-hyuk off guard, not what he expected at all. The new guild called Packhorse Masters was actually started by a dangerous demonic human. In the original plot of this world, they play a massive, pivotal role. Back in his room, Hajin realizes the guild isn't his biggest problem right now. No, it is the upcoming dungeon raid he really needs to worry about. See, in the main story, Packhorse Masters raids the Devil's Lair dungeon soon. Right after that raid, their stock prices are going to explode by 1,000%. That is why Hajin is happily dumping his money into their stocks early on. He is just waiting to cash out big once that massive boom hits. It is the smartest way to get rich, all thanks to his future knowledge. Spending 3 million won, Hajin finishes the buy and looks for more secret info. He wonders if there is another place to dig up some secret stock tips. Public forums were a bust, so he considers a shady site called Violet Haze. Then, Hajin remembers something else, a group that becomes a major threat later. He is thinking of the Masked Syndicate, the main villains of the second half. They are a mysterious criminal group, and nobody really knows who they are. Information on their members is almost impossible for anyone to find. But since Hajin literally wrote this story, he knows exactly who they are. He even knows where they hide. He is probably the only one who does. They are nasty criminals, sure, but they hate those demonic fiends even more. Hajin wonders if he can somehow link up with the syndicate's leader. A connection like that might help him deal with Cho Jin-yun eventually. Especially once Cho Jin-yun is reborn as a terrifying demonic human. Mapping out his moves, Hajin figures there is an opening he can exploit. It is the perfect chance to make his move and join the game. Suddenly, his laptop screen goes black, giving Kim Hajin a massive heart attack. He leans in close, terrified. This would be a total disaster for him. That laptop is his only ticket back to his original home world. Losing it would be catastrophic, but luckily, the screen flickers back to life. He has been in this world for a full month now. Time flies. It was just a sudden update, but he nearly fainted thinking he lost everything. Meanwhile, at a restaurant, a certain couple is drawing quite a few stares. It is the totally bored Jong-hak and a very happy-looking Yeon-ha. Jong-hak kicks things off, and he definitely sounds pretty annoyed right now. "All right, you and I are dropping in on a stuffy noble meeting." Yeon-ha kept teasing him, claiming he was only here to leech noble benefits. Since she was the future leader of society, she asked about his grades. Hearing they were just average, Yeon-ha mocked him for not aiming for first. But Jong-hak felt his grades were fine, mostly because he was in second. He was winning, sure, but his own standards were just sky high. Suddenly, an unexpected guest crashed the party. It was the dazzling Non. Jong-hak's huge crush. He literally jumped up, totally breaking his cool character. He was desperate for her attention, even if it meant looking silly. Watching him act so thirsty for Non really bothered Yeon-ha, who liked him. Jong-hak rushed over to check on Non, asking if she was doing okay. Non said she was fine, but Yeon-ha was getting heated from being ignored. She was fed up. Then, out of nowhere, Non mentioned Kim Hajin's name. "All right, you and I are about to see her interest finally peak." Non explained that during the demonic incident at the museum, 3 cadets were there. And one of those people just happened to be that guy, Hajin. The demon had them pinned, crushing both Zuho and Non with 0 effort. They were done for until a mysterious figure stepped into the fight. Kim Hajin blew the monster's hand apart with 1 shot. Non witnessed everything. She couldn't believe he did that with a training pistol. What's his secret? It made her wonder about his true motives. Yeon-ha went quiet, thinking deeply. Non pressed for more details, asking Yeon-ha what she really thought of him. Since they were teammates during their first training, Yeon-ha must know something. Yeon-ha hesitated. Turns out she had already done a secret background check. Her own suspicions had pushed her to dig into Kim Hajin's past. She found out he was just an orphan who somehow made it into Cube. Even worse, he was drowning in a massive debt of 300 million. But besides those basic facts, she didn't actually know anything real about him. And get this, she couldn't figure out how he knew that secret weak point. Even the world's best analysts had no clue about it at the time. She remembered asking him, but he was stubborn and refused to say anything. That was the main reason she wanted to keep a close eye on him. Yanha believed that, one day, he could become a massive asset to her guild. Initially, she just thought he was some totally unremarkable, boring guy. But looking back, his training attacks weren't strong enough for that museum feat. To blow a demon's arm off like that, it just didn't add up. So, she concluded that Hajin must be hiding a secret ace up his sleeve. Non leaned in and whispered a theory that was actually pretty wild. She suggested that Kim Hajin might actually be a monster in human disguise. That insane idea left both Jong-hak and Yanha completely speechless. Even Yanha found it hard to believe a demon would kill its own kind. Non couldn't explain it, but she knew something was definitely off about him. Meanwhile, Hajin's laptop is glitching out as the update hits 100%. Suddenly, he feels a strange, burning heat starting to radiate from his wrist. The pain just gets sharper. Blood stains his sleeve. Hajin starts panicking as an agonizing heat sears his wrist. Pain flares. The newest update is manifesting a stigma on his body, a symbol of the creator's absolute authority. As his influence grows and the story points evolve, this mark will change too. The magic locked inside can be unleashed whenever he needs it. But after a single use, it takes 24 hours to recharge. Suddenly, Hajin's head throbs. Agony racks his entire body. It is like a flood of data crashing into his brain. He cannot fight it off. Meanwhile, at the restaurant, Young Hawk slams the table. He is furious that Non is actually upset over whatever Hajin did recently. Right then, Hajin cannot even stay upright. He just collapses to the floor. Back to Non, she cannot stop replaying Hajin's harsh words in her head. She is certain now, she absolutely despises him. While she fumes, Hajin lies unconscious, his body totally spent. Take a look at that new stigma mark. It is the gift from the update. Suddenly, a notification pings on his laptop. A brand new ability just got added to his reading and observation gift. It is a massive power-up. Now, let's head over to the Association Tower in Seoul. After that chaos at the museum, Suho, Non, and Hajin were all summoned. They are getting official commendations for jumping into that fight earlier. Turns out, their service to the city did not go unnoticed after all. But Hajin's wrist is still throbbing from yesterday's update. He is doing better, but the sting is real. Plus, he has not figured out its purpose. Then, he has the pure bad luck of being seated right next to Non. She is beyond livid and tells him to shut up before he even opens his mouth. He did not even say a word. His mere presence is enough to set her off. She literally cannot stand him. Hajin just asks if she has forgotten something important. He reminds her that on that day, he is the one who saved her life. Using his powers, of course, Non is clearly frustrated hearing this from him. Too bad he is telling the truth. She snaps at him, forcing Suho to intervene. He tries to stop the bickering by offering Non a seat swap. But she is being stubborn and refuses to move, at least at first. After arguing, she finally swaps with Suho, who takes the seat next to Hajin. Suho settles in for a serious talk and actually thanks Hajin for saving them. Hajin definitely did not expect that kind of honesty from him. Suho admits that without Hajin's help, they would have lost that fight for sure. He is basically their hero now, but our boy is just too chill about it. He honestly thinks they would have won even if he had not stepped in. You see, if Hajin was not there, Suho likely would have found another way. He probably would have pulled out some plot armor and reached a new power level. That is just how protagonists work in this world, facing danger. They always get back up and come out stronger on the other side. Next, we are in the auditorium as one of the world's top heroes enters. With long hair and an outfit covered in dragons, he looks the part. He strides in with total confidence and a whole lot of boredom. He is already complaining about how useless this assignment is. Meet Yushi-hak, a top-tier hero ranked 37th in the association. His presence alone shuts the whole crowd up. Everyone feels that suffocating aura. It is radiating off him. This officially kicks off the ceremony for our heroes. Nan, Suho, and our boy Hajin are all waiting. The awardees are called. They step onto the stage, 3 cadets honored for their brave service to the city. Handing out the prizes is Shihyuk, a legend and top hero in the association. He is here to bless these cadets for their incredible work in taking down a demon. They saved countless lives in the city. Truly the bright future of this world, right? First up, Shihyuk looks at Suho and hands over his well-earned reward. He sees massive potential here, even telling Suho he is a talent worth recruiting. Suho gets his certificate, but then Shihyuk drops a total bombshell of an offer. He wants the boy to ditch the association and join his personal guild instead. Forget being a public hero, work for him as a high-stakes professional hunter. He claims being a hero is boring, all duty and no freedom. Shihyuk hates that. He doesn't value responsibility at all, but our boy Suho, he is built different. The confident cadet says no thanks. He is actually happy choosing the hero path. Shihyuk feels like a kid who lost his toy. Bored again, he moves to the next. Nan is visibly shaking. She definitely recognizes this powerhouse of a man standing there. Turns out this guy is her master. Or well, that is what Nan believes. In reality, Shihyuk does not even consider her a real student. Talk about cold. Apparently, her dad just begged him to train her. That is the only reason. That blunt truth just crushes her spirit. Man, that has got to hurt, right? Hajin is secretly loving this, though. Seeing her get humbled a bit, total win. Then we reach the final cadet. Shihyuk doesn't recognize this plain kid at all. He stares right through him. No spark of recognition, just a total blank face. "Who are you again?" he asks, making it clear just how insignificant Hajin feels. Hajin calls it pure indifference, like his existence is being filtered out by the elite. Shihyuk barely gives him a glance. No attention, no interest, unlike what the others got. And just like that, the ceremony is over, as quick and boring as expected. Nan is the first one grilled by the press about her feelings on the win. But after the formalities, you and I can see Hajin is on cloud 9. He just cleared $15 million in prize money for that fiend extermination. Perfect timing. He needs every cent to pay off that massive $300 million. Sitting alone, he starts planning how to invest this sudden windfall of cash. He is eyeing some guild stocks, but there is something way more exciting here. He is dying to check the new features on his laptop. That update was brutal. He flips it open and a notification pops up. The new functions are ready. First is the stigma mark, second, internet activation, and finally, the tome of truth. It adds to his observation skills. Now that stigma mark, that is for his arm. There is basically zero description for it, though. It just says he can use magic. Helpful, right? Not really. Hajin has no clue how to actually make it work yet. He is staring at his arm, trying to figure out the trigger. What activates it? Suddenly, the mark starts to glow. A crest forms right on his skin. It is time. He panics. What if he blows the whole room up? He needs a safe spot. He rushes back to the dorms. No witnesses, no accidents, just him and this power. Let us see what this stigma can really do. Hopefully, he does not regret this. No one else can see him. It'll be a mess if he's spotted now. Next up, internet activation. Hajin hovers his cursor over the button and clicks. After a quick pause, the screen starts redirecting him to several suspicious websites. We see names like Law Abiding Spirit and a few other shady pages. Sites like Violet Hayes and Jeremy's Sword appear. He's getting elite access. He's actually bypassed the filters to reach restricted websites for free. Talk about a hack. Out of everything, the most crucial one is Violet Hayes. It has exactly what he needs. It's the most famous membership site, acting as a massive underground trading hub. People trade high-level info, weapons, rewards, and quests here. It's real. Almost every top hero uses this platform. Only a few elite holdouts stay away. Because of that, the government chooses to look the other way regarding this trading. Usually, the entry fee is absolutely insane, but for our main character, he has a shortcut. All he has to do is spend 200 of his hard-earned story points. He makes the purchase to set up his account for now. Solid investment. But just as he's about to browse, a voice calls out to him from behind. It's the stunning Sun. The vice captain has caught him completely off guard. She knows he's onto her identity and saw him vanish during the ceremony earlier. She tracked him down specifically to hand him a card for her guild. This is the Holy Grace of God Guild. This isn't just some random business deal. Even Hajin realizes that landing this card is a massive win for his future. Sun A has some burning questions. Let's see if he's willing to talk. Our guy Hajin already has a feeling she's looking to scout him for the team. In the media, Sun A seems kind, but in reality, she has a cold side. Even the best talents are dismissed when it comes to her standards. She's ruthless. She only deals in the best of the best. If you're not useful, you're gone. That is the real personality of the Vice Guild Master. She's calculated and cold. Making a connection now is vital for Hajin to succeed in future events. But instead of playing nice, Hajin decides to cut her off immediately. He coldly tells her he has nothing left to say. What a brutal rejection. Sun A is stunned but tries to clarify. She wants him to know her interest. She reminds him that she's the second in command of Korea's top guild. Hajin knows her rank, but he doesn't care. He knows she's here for personal reasons. He's certain she saw the footage of him using that light attribute shot earlier. She's not trying to recruit him yet. She just wants to satisfy curiosity. So Hajin plays hard to get. He wants to look like he has better options. He's aiming to mess with her emotions, to turn her curiosity into a real offer. Then he pulls a total power move. He tells her he's leaving right now. Sun A is shocked. Meanwhile, we get more info on his stigma ability. When his story points hit a certain level, his attention score will jump up. That means another stroke will be added to his mark. It's getting serious. Instead of her fickle curiosity, Hajin decides to pull a massive power move. He states he's leaving right now, shocking Sun A, but wait. Regarding his stigma ability, more information is finally being provided to us now. When his story points exceed the threshold, his level will finally increase. It's all becoming very clear. Hajin can tap into this power whenever he wants. Resetting takes 24 hours. Ready for a trial run, he focuses every ounce of magic into a dagger. Suddenly, the mark glows. A legendary blade simply manifests from thin air. This isn't some cheap illusion. The dagger is the real deal, lethal and sharp. He gives it a swing. It feels perfect, balanced, and ready for immediate action. Magic stats are usually all about talent and hard study, two things he lacks. Since he dropped into this world without a backstory, he assumed he was powerless. But hey, check this out. He found a shortcut through the stigma's insane powers. He's honestly just happy to be useful. Now, he's got one last test to run. It's the Tome of Truth. It's supposed to max out his observation and reading skills. Hajin takes a beat, gets his head right, and calls out the ability's name. The stigma flares up again. Suddenly, a book of literal truth appears in his hands. This mystical energy is wild. It'll answer anything, provided the magic scope is enough. I mean, how crazy is that? Even the author has to stop and process this. This is a lot to digest. Is the book legit or just messing with him? To verify, he asks a simple question about his own height. Let's see the truth. Turns out Hajin is a short king, standing at exactly 174 centimeters. That's just over 5'8" in freedom units. Not bad, but definitely not a giant. Every truth has a price. Using the tome burns through one story point per question. Suddenly, his watch goes crazy. An emergency alert from the school is blowing up. There's a group ping. Someone is desperately searching for a cadet's current location. Hajin stares at the red notice. He's got a bad feeling about this whole thing. This is it. The second major event from the original story is finally kicking off. The serial disappearances at the cube. This is where things get really, really dark. 6 cadets are about to vanish. No warning, no screams, just gone into the night. Whoever is doing this is a professional. They aren't leaving behind a single trace. The investigations are a joke. They find nothing. Meanwhile, the body count just grows. It feels like they're all trapped in some endless, twisted game with no exit. This arc is huge. Why? Because the killer's final target is actually Yu Yunha. Hajin knows this is bad news. If that co-author meddles, things will get messy. One small edit could change everything. They could easily just delete a main character. We saw it happen during the museum incident. They're totally ruthless when they want. Part of him wants to hunt the killer himself and end this right now. But wait, if he interferes too much, he might break the timeline's entire course. That's a risk he can't take. His interference could ruin the ending forever. So for now, he's just going to stay low and watch the story unfold. Cut to the next day at the gym. Suho is grabbing some water. His buddy nudges him, "Look over there, something is about to go down." Hajin is just trying to train and get stronger, but of course, trouble finds him. A group of toxic bullies shows up just to harass him and ruin his set. They call him a loser. How can a Cube student struggle with such light weight? Elite school. They bet he bribed his way in. Suho wants to help. Don't get involved. Suho can't believe the class rep is just letting this happen. Yang Han is just standing there, cold and silent, not a single word of help. All right, look, it's obvious from those punks' behavior that Hajin really messed up. He's on Jonghak's bad side now, so helping him makes Suho a target too. There's also a chance they're just faking this whole thing to test his reaction. Suho can't believe this logic, but Young Han has a different theory in mind. He thinks a guy who broke a monster's arm wouldn't be scared of amateurs. In his head, Hajin is definitely just hiding his true strength from the world. But that theory, yeah, it falls apart fast. Just watch this guy's performance. Hajin can't for the life of him lift that barbell off the ground today. He's just shaking and struggling before finally giving up in total exhaustion. Even the bullies think he's pathetic. Yang Hen's starting to believe it was all luck. Despite his friend's change of tune, Suho ignores him and rushes to help. The rest of the cadets sense a fight is brewing, and Non is eavesdropping. But then their instructor shows up, roaring like a father who's had enough. He's absolutely livid that they're turning a serious training session into a joke. The drill sergeant tells everyone to gather around for the quiz scores to drop. The result sheet goes up on the wall so the groups can see everything. The cadets crowd the board, only to realize that most of them failed. It was a total slaughter, but right at the very top of that list, there's only one name standing alone. It's Kim Hajin, the weak cadet from earlier. The guy who couldn't lift a plate just took the #1 spot. Legend status, Rachel and Jonghak are sitting at second and third place. Hajin isn't even shocked. Why would he be? He literally wrote this entire story. He's got the ultimate author's cheat codes, but someone else isn't so calm. Clang, a rapier hits the floor. Rachel is staring at the board in shock. She's completely speechless. This is the British princess, a top-tier prodigy from day one. She ranked third in admissions, but there's a huge detail about her character. Rachel never places second, not on a written test, not on anything, ever. So seeing Hajin above her, it's like her entire world just got flipped. She looks at Hajin like he's a ghost. Even he's awkward, not knowing what to say. Let's look back to when she first entered Cube with those perfect scores. Her staff were terrified she'd be isolated while standing among the world's best. She'd be all alone at the top, surrounded by high-level hero candidates. Plus, she was a total outsider. Every single one of her classmates was Korean. Rachel was fine with that. She didn't feel anxious. She had a goal. She just wanted to live up to the royal family's massive expectations. But today, she's feeling a crushing sense of defeat she's never known before. It feels like she's failed her whole country by losing to this random kid. Meanwhile, the teacher is holding up Hajin's notes as the gold standard. He's gushing over his brilliant paper and his fresh take on complex analysis. He's officially given a special mention, marking him as a total academic beast. Rachel knows this stuff isn't easy. It's not something you master in a day. She's actually doubting if she can close the gap before midterms come around. This quiet, lost boy Kim Hajin is just better than her, period. He doesn't even pay attention, yet he's outranking a princess. It's unreal. Now she's burning with inspiration, and a desperate need to know the truth. As he dives into his studies, Rachel starts taking a real interest in him. Over at the information office, Hajin is busy digging for answers. He finally gets the Book of Truth. This legendary item is exactly what he needs to solve his mounting problems. With this broken ability, he can learn literally anything or fill any knowledge gaps in this world. But there is a catch. It costs him a chunk of his precious story points. Since he is currently hitting a wall with no other advantages, this is a total lifesaver. Hajin is banking on this power to finally turn his luck around. After wrapping up his agent registration, he is ready to burn some points on serious upgrades. Every point is vital, but he has specific tasks that need handling right now. You see, the story's second major disaster is about to kick off. Once it hits, the Academy's reputation for safety and authority is going to be completely shattered. The supposed safe zone, that is about to become a memory. Even with his new tricks, Hajin knows he is still way too weak to solo a fiend. Luckily, he has been racking up story points ever since Jan Hawk's subordinates started hassling him. It is actually working out perfectly. Talk about turning a nuisance into a profit. Now, he is looking to reinvest those points into staying alive for the upcoming chaos. First on the list, boosting his weapon buffs to give him a fighting chance. He is carrying that Desert Eagle, and he wants to add a transformation function. His goal, turning his handgun into a full-blown, high-powered sniper rifle. Let us be real, a pistol that shifts into a sniper is undeniably cool. He worries it might be a bit much, but ultimately, he decides to pull the trigger. That is 250 story points gone, but the result, absolutely worth it. The gun warps instantly, transforming into a stunning, golden sniper rifle right before his eyes. Even Hajin is stunned by the change, but there is just one small problem. It is way too flashy. He will stand out like a sore thumb, so he switches it back. Next up, he needs a custom technique to help him survive the battlefield. He has 3 slots for techniques, which are physical skills rather than magical gifts. While abilities are innate magic, techniques are things you actually have to hone and master. For a long-range fighter, survival is all about one thing: staying in the right spot. Positioning is the difference between a successful hunt and becoming the prey. So, Hajin sets his sights on a technique that will keep him safe and mobile. He needs something to prevent any future mishaps when things get messy. He is back on his laptop, scrolling through all the available E-rank techniques. Finally, he finds exactly what he is looking for, a skill he dubs parkour. This makes him incredibly agile, allowing him to navigate the field with insane speed. It ensures he is never a sitting duck or an easy target for his enemies. That little upgrade costs him 350 points, gone in an instant. Strangely, though, he does not feel any immediate physical change in his body. He is pretty sure the power-up worked, even if he does not feel like a superhero yet. Suddenly, a ping hits his smartwatch. It is a group message for the whole institution. Everyone is searching for Shai, the second victim to go missing inside the academy. But Hajin knows the dark truth. Those missing students were not just taken. They were murdered in cold blood by a hidden culprit stalking the halls. In this world, the moment you disappear, you are already as good as dead. As the original author, he is the only one who knows the true face of this monster. From the shadows, he knows exactly who's going to vanish when the plot kicks in. Stuck in this gray zone, Hajin wonders if silence is the right move. Should he just ignore the tragedy for the sake of the plot and his survival? It's a deep question. Plot progression or a human life? Honestly, it's a brutal choice. Let me know in the comments, what would you choose, being practical or staying ethical? These heavy thoughts are crushing our author, who's currently stuck with 0 easy answers. He's caught in a trap where every choice feels wrong, but life moves on. The scene shifts to the outdoor grounds, where the cadet's next trial begins. The instructor steps up, announcing a special session that's going to get real. See that cave? That's an artificial dungeon, built with some seriously impressive magic tech. It's a high-tech wonder, designed to simulate the world's most dangerous environments. Inside, they'll face monster illusions. It's as close to the real deal as it gets. For these cadets, It's the ultimate test to prepare them for the horrors of actual combat. They're heading into a mock assault, but don't let the word mock fool you. The instructor isn't playing. He warns them, stay sharp or pay the price. Even if it's training, one mistake could still end their careers right here. This dungeon is massive. To conquer it, the Veritas and cultural units have to team up. It's a rare joint operation. They'll need perfect coordination to dismantle this artificial nightmare. One team from each unit will merge, forming a specialized 8-person assault squad. Now, the instructor gives the order, go ahead and pick your own teammates. Instantly, the area explodes into chatter as students scramble to find the best partners. Right in the middle of it all is Team 8, featuring our main man, Hajin. He's backed by his usual allies, Yanha, Hyuzuki, and Hasung, a solid lineup, right? Joining them from the cultural unit are Jadin, Jingyu, Sujong, and Jinxia. That makes 8 cadets total, ready to face whatever traps this dungeon is hiding. But stay alert, there are terrifying traps waiting in the shadows of this place. Hajin suspects fiends planted these traps. Luckily, he's already a step ahead. In case they run into any demonic humans, he's packed some very special bullets. Even with his preparation, Hajin can't help but wonder, will he actually make it out? He's confident, but in this world, survival is never a guarantee for anyone. Suddenly, the system starts screaming. A major story discrepancy has been detected. This is an author's nightmare. The script is changing and he's blind. He has no idea what these shifts are, and it's not just one. 3 major aspects of the plot have been warped at once. This is beyond dangerous. Hajin is on high alert, who's causing these massive ripples in reality. As teams gather, his anxiety spikes. The unknown is his biggest fear. He's spiraling in his own head when Yanha decides to snap him out of it. She mocks him for being a total airhead and ignoring the instructor's important speech. The system pings, looks like Yanha's temper is flaring up again. Typical, isn't it? Then she meets Jadin. He's full of energy, but Yanha, she's not feeling it at all. She gives him the coldest, deadest stare you've ever seen. Pure social exhaustion right there. Interestingly, the system notes Jadin's growth potential just shot up from this. Finally, Non talks to a cadet she knows from the hunting club. He introduces himself as Sven, striking blue eyes and a killer smile. He's definitely charming, but you and I know that in this world, looks can be deceiving. All right, you and I are about to see him pair up with her. This makes him highly susceptible to becoming a puppet for the demons. Hajin is baffled by these sudden story changes appearing out of nowhere. He is deeply troubled because these shifts will impact the entire plot. Now, the author turns his focus toward 2 specific characters he must watch. First up is Jadin from Team 8, a delinquent with a nasty streak. He is supposed to be a bully, but something feels off here. While he is a talented cadet, something else is really bothering Hajin. It is the random growth, potential points Jadin keeps receiving from nowhere. Jadin politely introduces his teammates, Jingyu, Sujong, and also Jingxia. Yanha does the same for her side, but she keeps getting Hajin's name wrong. It is hilarious, honestly. I think she called him Lee Hajin just to tease him. Shaking it off, Hajin focuses on his second target of interest, a guy named Sven. This dude is an elite hero candidate from Germany on a government scholarship. There is one key detail about him: he is hopelessly in love with Non. Is it just me, or does every single guy here have a crush on Non? Seriously, someone should check if she made a contract with a charm demon. Anyway, like all international students, Sven came here looking for total success. He wanted glory and fame, but that dream is quickly falling apart. It is hard to shine when compared to main characters like Suho and Yanha. Seeing their brilliant abilities left Sven feeling completely lost and mentally broken. Before coming here, he had never felt such true, humbling defeat in his life. His insecurities took over. In a mad pursuit for power, Sven sells his soul. He trades everything for ultimate strength. The author knows these facts well. The real problem is that his dark transformation will happen during the raid. The timeline has shifted forward. Even though he's hoping for the best, Hajin's worried. Suddenly, his thoughts are crushed when Jadin comes over for a sudden greeting. Jadin squeezes his shoulder hard, telling him to wake up and pay attention. Hajin immediately snaps his arm away, clearly wanting to push the bully off. Hajin is still worried, but his thoughts are crushed by a sudden greeting. Jadin squeezes his shoulder and tells him to stop getting lost in thought. Hajin immediately snaps his arm away to push the guy off of him. Jadin sneers and calls him a scumbag, believing all the rumors are true. Hearing those words, Hajin realizes his reputation has hit an all-time low. Now, a particular rumor is spreading through the unit, putting him in danger. People are targeting him, thinking he uses his elite cadet status to bully others. He is being accused of intimidating people based on a total, manufactured lie. It's pretty obvious who started this, though. Hajin knows the real truth. It is definitely the work of Jang Hak and his loyal group of followers. Looking at his teammates, Hajin is upset that Hazuki and Hoseong aren't helping. They are supposed to be a team, but they're just letting it happen. Regardless, the order is decided. Team 1 will be the first to enter. Honestly, you and I can see how all the haters gathered together here. He brags about how their combined power is going to be insane. They mock him for being dead weight, but stick with me, it gets wilder. All right, you and I are watching Team 8, and poor Hajin is their designated victim. Finally, it is time to enter the dungeon. They arrive, staring at the massive artificial cave. It is quite a sight. The group moves in together, with Jadin confidently leading the exploration. He is oozing confidence, but suddenly they hit a crossroads with multiple paths stretching out. Yanha is curious. She wonders which route would be the most effective for them to take. Jadin reminds them they have Jingyu, their reliable ranged specialist, covering their backs. Then Hajin finally speaks up. Out of nowhere, he suggests they take route number 6. This random interruption really grinds Jadin's gears, but strangely enough, Yanha seems to listen. She actually trusts his gut and accepts the idea. Talk about an unexpected turn. Even Hajin is shocked. She calls him useless in front of everyone, but deep down. She admits he has got a sharp pair of eyes. Hajin is a bit annoyed, though. Why does she have to insult him just to give a simple compliment? Typical Yanha. Still, he is fine with it if they find Naeun on this path. Here is the thing. Sven might actually end up making a deal with the demon hidden deep inside this cave. That means the whole burden falls on Naeun. She is going to have a rough time. Dealing with him solo won't be easy. If she fails, the entire story falls apart. Her character is absolutely vital for the plot to move forward. She is the key. An invaluable piece they simply can't lose. They head into Path 6, but wait. Jadin is still being petty, calling Hajin a desperate attention seeker. Our boy. He does not give a damn about the insults. He is focusing on the monsters ahead. The other cadets are blind in this darkness, but Hajin sees everything just fine. He spots a salamander lurking in the distance. He suspects it might be a trigger. Like a hidden dungeon switch that could reveal the secrets of this entire place. Jingyu is worried. He decides to fire a light arrow to check things out. With a nod from Yanha, he readies his bow and lets the arrow fly. It carves a bright path through the dark, and wow, everyone is in for a shock. There really is a salamander monster waiting. Jadin freezes while Yanha takes charge. She shouts for everyone to get into position. It is time to take this beast down. Hajin, though, he is just waiting, watching for the right moment to make his move. Yanha whips out her signature weapon and dives straight into the fight. She lashes out at the beast, cutting off its charging attack right in its tracks. Not gonna lie, this monster looks like a budget Pokémon, with its mouth tied up. The melee fighters pounce. They swarm the creature to crush it with heavy hits. Since it is just a hologram, they take it down pretty easily. No real danger. They walk away without a scratch. But then, Yanha hears a strange rumbling sound. She realizes the dungeon is actually transforming now that the monster is dead. Hajin notices the electric charge sparking from her whip. He is actually quite impressed. Looks like she has already awakened her special power. She is ahead of the game. They are about to move out when Hajin trips. He goes flying right into Yanha. He crashes into her from behind. Right then, a sharp projectile whistles past them. If he had not stumbled, that thing would have hit. Both of them hit the floor. It is a rough landing. Hajin is sweating bullets because he knows he is in trouble. He is a dead man. Yanha tries to ignore it at first, but then she gets absolutely fired up. She is ready to beat the living daylights out of him. But then the team points at the arrow, the one that almost killed them both. Just watch this. Hajin realizes a lucky stumble saved them from a lethal poison arrow. Meanwhile, Sven is in bad shape. He begs Nan to just leave him behind. Nan is not having it. She tells him to shut up and keep running. Honestly, she is still in total shock. That arrow came from nowhere and hit Sven from behind. No way this is training. She just grabbed him and bolted. This artificial dungeon is glitching out. These traps should not be here. Now she is running from a literal lava golem. Absolute nightmare. No wonder she is so done with Sven yapping. Elsewhere, the cadets are deep in their training exercise. Fire salamanders are everywhere, spitting lethal beams. Hajin's team is holding the line like pros. Long-range shots, landing perfectly. Hajin and Yanha are basically just cleaning the trash. Jaden is off on his own, enjoying the carnage. Feels like a total cakewalk for our heroes. Just low-level fodder so far. Besides that one arrow, the coast seems clear. So they decide to push deeper into the cave. But Hajin is not relaxed. That arrow felt wrong. Plus, the system sent him a warning. He cannot believe these idiots think this is practice. Suddenly, he feels a chilling presence behind his neck. A survivor, this salamander is fully charged. It is ready to fire. Hajin is stunned. He thought they killed every last one. The fire blast erupts, heading straight for the group. This single hit could end everyone right now. Hajin acts, he triggers stigma magic. He burns a rare water barrier skill. The barrier manifests, shielding them from heat. The beam is strong, but it fades. The water barrier keeps everyone safe. The salamander collapses, its last resort. The team is in shock. They saw the impossible. The others are staring in disbelief. Was that really just a training drill? That was a full-strength flame breath. Jaden is the only one who is furious. He grabs Hajin, demanding answers for his secrets. They needed that power much earlier. Hajin plays it cool, claims it was just an item. Jaden is not buying it. Yanha intervenes. Real monster in a fake dungeon. Something is wrong. Yona tries to rationalize the whole thing. All right, you and I are diving into a dungeon that is anything but normal. A salamander must have mutated, or something even darker triggered this sudden change. But Yanha didn't dwell on that. She had her eyes on the prize. Taking down a real monster meant serious points. Yanha took the lead immediately. She acted cool, pretending nothing was wrong, but her mind was racing fast. There was no way Hajin was not lying about that magical artifact story. The guy could not even buy a basic desert eagle. How could he own magic? It just did not add up. No way a broke guy gets rare magic items. Plus, it was water magic, a total mystery in this heat. If it were John Hawk or Suho, maybe, but a guy like Hajin. Absolutely impossible. Yanha started connecting the dots between all his recent weird behavior. Like how he spotted that boss's weak point, or his sudden magic skills. Why was he trying so hard to keep his true powers a secret? It reminded her of that theory, about him being some kind of hidden superhuman. She could not trust him, not one bit, so she kept her eyes glued to him. Her suspicion was growing by the second, but elsewhere, things were getting much worse. Now let's check on Nan. You and I are seeing a total nightmare. The Maga Megalith. This thing is a massive, intermediate-grade monster. It looked like a final boss. They wondered if a normal team could survive. Dealing with this monstrosity felt impossible. Panic was starting to set in fast. Their only hope was joining the other teams for one massive joint strike. But Sven was in rough shape. He was fragile, and Nan was totally stumped. Then a poison arrow flew out of nowhere. This training was becoming a death trap. This was way too hard for cadets. And Sven, he was falling apart. His injuries were worse than they thought, but the mental toll was even heavier. He felt like a total failure, dragging everyone down into the dirt. His confidence shattered, and that is when a dark voice started whispering in his ear. It preyed on his weakness. It asked if he wanted power, real, absolute power. The voice teased him, tired of being weak, tired of suffering all alone. It promised him everything. The strength of his dreams was finally within reach. Everything he wanted was there. Absolute power was finally within his grasp. But there was a price. The demon demanded his entire soul in exchange. Desperate and broken, he did not hesitate. He accepted the deal immediately. But the trap snapped shut instantly. The demon claimed its prize right then. Agony ripped through him. His soul was being torn apart by the dark fiend. He screamed in pure torment. Non rushed over, calling out for help immediately. His screams did something worse. They drew the massive Goliath right to them. It looked down at them, a casual, terrifying greeting before the real chaos began. Lava erupted everywhere. The beast swung a massive fist, crushing everything in sight. Structures crumbled like paper. The cadets were running for their lives now. They were sprinting like Olympians. One wrong move and they would be flattened instantly. The ground shook as the monster slammed down. Cadets were tossed like ragdolls. There was nowhere to run. They were trapped. Non was pushed to the limit. She was lugging Sven's body, her back against a wall. No exit in sight. Before she could even catch her breath, the monster loomed over her again. Those eyes, absolutely terrifying, pure nightmare fuel. You wouldn't want to be Non right in this moment. She couldn't believe the horror they were facing. It was clear that this was no dummy. Facing its absolute wrath, Non felt truly paralyzed by the fear that she might just die in this artificial dungeon. Death was close to her. The beast prepares to strike, but suddenly, zip, a mana bullet streaks across the field, slamming into the monster and knocking it back with power while penetrating the skull. Non quickly looks for the mysterious shooter, who attacked the monster from the shadows. It's Hajin, who just saved her life for the second time today. If she's still ungrateful after this, he should honestly just leave her behind and save himself. Let's rewind a few minutes to see what happened with Yona's entire team. They hit a massive wall, which really ticked off Jadin, since this path was supposed to lead them straight to the dungeon's boss. Hajin confirms they are in the right spot. They've never been closer, but the wall was unexpected even for him. Ignoring the details, Hajin claims the monster is right behind it and waiting. He wants the rest of the group to smash through it for him right now. Jadin was livid that Hajin was the one taking charge of everything and calling all the shots. Regardless, Jadin steps up and attacks with his full strength and his sword. The result? A sharp, painful shock rattles the poor guy's arms because the wall is infused with incredibly strong defensive magic. Even a magic strike is useless against it. Hazuki notices a small gap just above the massive wall right there. Hajin thinks they can use that opening to cross over. But Jadin thinks it's a crazy idea. He doesn't believe anyone could make a 10-meter climb like that. Realizing Jadin is just a fool who can't do what needs doing. Hajin decides to go first. He uses his parkour skills to strengthen his grip and agility. He turns and tosses his body upward, lunging forward like a total expert until he reaches the top. From there, he ignores the rest and just dashes away into the darkness. Right then, the entire group hears a sudden boom from the other side. The dungeon is once again undergoing a sudden and completely unexpected change right now. Jadin is confused, but a giant lava golem is currently wreaking total havoc nearby. Unexpected change. Jadin has no idea what is happening, but we clearly see that a giant lava golem is wreaking havoc. Inside, Hajin arrives just in time to rescue Non. He is surprised his stun shot wore off so quickly here against this creature. It's just too massive for a single shot to keep down for long. He screams for Non to run instead of just sitting there frozen like a statue. Things get worse as the towering monster finds its newest target right now. Hajin's face goes pale as he begs Non to save him immediately instead of running. Suddenly, the group forms a battle formation and strikes now from many angles. Despite their heavy blows, none of their hits actually work against this beast. It stands there, completely impenetrable and unfazed by their attacks as ever. Seeing them come to the rescue, Non finally gets down to business as she readies a powerful arrow. She wants them to keep the monster busy while she gathers her energy. A few more moments pass, and eventually, Sven shows up out of nowhere with a surprise entrance. He keeps the monster occupied and distracted so Non can wind up even more of her hidden strength. She's remembering the final outcome against that demonic human and wants to finish this golem for good last time. She swore things would change. And now, you and I see it happening. Then Neen releases her arrow, absolutely obliterating the beast's face. The golem's massive corpse hits the ground as molten lava spills from its head. The cadets are stunned. They can't believe they defeated that beast with their combined power. Some are already dreaming about the massive points they'll earn for this. Meanwhile, Non and Sven finally catch up. They're both breathing hard after the sprint. Everyone's shocked by Non's sudden attack, but she just coolly calls it her finisher. Hajin couldn't care less about the chatter. He's hyper-focused on Sven right now. Sven hasn't transformed into a fiend yet, which is a major shift from the original plot. It's a clear deviation from the story, and it's bound to cause chaos later. Change is coming regardless, especially since he made that demon deal. This is going to be tough. There's no telling when he'll snap and turn everything upside down. If he acts up against the group now, the story will spiral into total chaos. Non's gaze drifts over to Hajin as he tries to catch his breath nearby. She swallows her pride and decides to approach him for a private little chat. Knowing she's in his debt, Non struggles to find the right words to say. She finally forces out a thank you, looking incredibly embarrassed about the whole thing. For Hajin, seeing her accept him like this is an almost radiant experience. He completely zones out and asks what she said, which instantly annoys her. She snaps back that she won't repeat it. Hajin still can't believe she thanked him. See, her entire life has been defined by one brutal tragedy after another. It all started when she was only 6, the first shadow to befall her. Losing her mother to a heartless fiend was devastating, and it changed the poor girl forever. That loss forged her resolve. She vowed to become a hero, no matter the cost. While other kids were taught to play and laugh, Neen was always different. Fueled by rage, she pushed her body to its absolute breaking point every single day. She stayed isolated, afraid that letting anyone in would expose her painful past. Being vulnerable was too risky, so she kept her heart closed off. Because of that, almost nobody has ever earned her thanks or her friendship. That's why this moment is so special to Hajin. It's a huge shift for her. The character he wrote was only supposed to apologize, but she's completely changed. As the novel's author, he knows exactly how significant this is. Non then asks why he lets those goons bully him when he's clearly strong. He's capable in real fights, and you and I saw how that shot worked. Just one shot from his gun was enough to freeze that massive monster in place. Those thugs aren't even a match for him, so she just doesn't understand his intentions. Hajin simply shrugs, claiming he has no way to beat them. Non isn't buying it. She literally watched him take down a monster with his weapon. He shows her his new gun, the Desert Eagle, and calls it a custom job. He explains it's just a special tool he made to handle certain situations. All in all, he's doing everything he can to avoid looking like a powerhouse. Non is shocked. He just admitted to a major crime without even blinking. Modified weapons are illegal and would get him expelled from the academy immediately. Hajin admits that's exactly why he only pulls it out when things get desperate. Luckily, he's figured out how to hide the weapon inside his stigma mark. This trick lets him hide heavy firepower in his inventory undetected. Still, Nayan is not buying it. She knows he is hiding something. Seeing his insane strength, she wonders if he has a secret firearm gift. Hajin stays tight-lipped, but surprisingly, she seems fine with the silence. She will keep his secret, but warns him to ditch the gun immediately. Before walking away, she brings up the one thing she truly hates. Hajin just goes quiet. No apologies, no explanations, just a cold stare. He refuses to build a bridge between them. He cannot be her friend. If she forgives him now, it will only make the future more painful. Why? Because he is currently planning to assassinate her own older brother. He will not manipulate her emotions, by acting like a close friend now. His mission is set. Cho Jin-yoon must die, no matter what happens next. Back with her squad, everyone is dying to know if they are friends. She shuts it down fast, but Sven's creepy look says he knows more. All right, look at that face. Something is seriously wrong with Sven right now. Suddenly, an announcement blares. The dungeon training is being shut down instantly. Every cadet must evacuate immediately. It seems the staff finally realized the danger. Without Hajin, they would be carrying out body bags instead of students. This exercise was a total disaster. Every security measure failed at once. First, the cameras went dark the second the training session began. Then, real monsters replaced the training dummies. This was a literal death trap. The academy staff stood by until the very last second, totally useless. It was a massive oversight, yet miraculously, not a single person died. Because there were no bodies, the cube is keeping this an internal matter. Hajin knows the truth. Fish-human spies and the staff are covering this up. These monsters have already infiltrated the school's leadership to suppress the evidence. No real investigation will happen until the next story arc is finished. But what really keeps him up is the mysterious co-author and Sven. You and I can see the storm brewing around Sven's dark intentions. Making a deal with a demon has a nasty side effect: obsession and madness. The nightmare scenario: Sven goes completely ballistic and kills poor Naeun. Hajin will do anything to stop that bloody future from ever happening. To prevent a tragedy, he is now secretly tracking their every move. He opens his messenger, feeling a bit guilty about his shady tactics. The system hacks directly into Naeun's personal account. He is officially inside. He scrolls through her chats with Suho, Sven, and even Yang Hawk. Only one name matters here: Sven. He is inviting her out this weekend. In the original book, this hunting trip is where Sven finally snaps. Hajin has to be there. He needs to neutralize the threat immediately. He plans to shadow them and stop the demon before it is too late. With his stats boosted, it is finally time to hunt in the garrison dungeon. During class, his smartwatch buzzes with a very unexpected message. Why is the main hero, Suho, reaching out to him like this? Suho wants to know if he is free this Friday for a talk. Stick with me, because the Garrison Mountain is where things get truly wild. The air here is thick with spiritual energy. Martial artists call it a training paradise. Fighters from every corner of the country flock here just to level up their skills. But martial artists aren't alone. You've also got treasure hunters wandering these rugged mountain peaks. They'd much rather dig for buried gold than risk their lives fighting nasty monsters. One of these guys is Kim Yeon-jun, a ginseng digger who's tagging along with Hajin. Hajin isn't exactly feeling the hype or touched by the old man's crazy enthusiasm. Yeon-jun is positive Hajin's current amateur approach will never land him any rare ginseng. But Hajin sets him straight. Ginseng, that's not even what he's actually looking for. The constant yapping is driving Hajin crazy, so he just decides to zone him out. Yeon-jun arrogantly labels Hajin a total rookie, and he's partially right. Our main character is constantly tripping and stumbling his way up the steep mountain path. But then, boom, Hajin spots a glowing, high-grade 7-year ginseng. He can't believe his luck. Without hesitation, Hajin starts munching on the rare root. His modification function kicks in, boosting his core stats by 2 whole points instantly. It's a temporary buff, but let's be real, this specific root is absolutely insane. If he sold this thing, he could have walked away with 700 million. Honestly, it kills me that he didn't just use that cash to clear his debt. Hajin keeps struggling, finding it brutal to climb this far into the wilderness. It makes sense why the dungeon he's hunting for hasn't been found by anyone yet. Deep within the garrison's shadows lies his true destination, a terrifying undead dungeon. This cave of horrors is exactly where Hajin stands right now. It's go time. The boss here is the Death Knight, a seriously dangerous upper intermediate grade monster. That ginseng buffed Hajin's stats, but this knight is still on another level entirely. Expectation aside, this monster is ready to absolutely wreck our main character's day. Stepping inside, Hajin doesn't seem worried. He's got a completely different objective in mind. Suddenly, a rotting, skeletal hand bursts through the dirt right at his feet. Dozens of undead monsters start crawling out to give Hajin a very warm welcome. Ready for the brawl, Hajin prepares his stigma magic to light these ghouls up. The thing is, his real plan isn't even about taking down the dungeon boss today. He's actually here to find the entrance to the dungeon's secret hidden stage. The skeletons lunge at the defenseless-looking boy, but they're about to have a bad time. Hajin draws his weapon and blasts an undead monster straight through its hollow chest. Talk about a stylish kill, he's dropping them at point-blank range now. The rest of the horde gets the same treatment, falling with every shot. Hajin triggers his eagle eye ability, tracking every single bullet with perfect precision. He watches the trajectories as his agility kicks in, making him move like lightning. Leaping over the monsters, he rains fire from above to rack up more kills. Once the area is clear, Hajin finally stops shooting. It's finally quiet again. However, the undead count is only going to skyrocket as he nears the hidden stage. It's a dead giveaway that he's closing in on the mysterious Evangel's location. This Evangel isn't just anyone, she's a witch and the hidden stage's boss. She's destined to play a massive role in the chaos that's coming later. One day, she'll build the castle of Evangel, the most terrifying fortress ever seen. It will become the most legendary undead stronghold in all of human history. An old, abandoned school will serve as its host. And she'll wreak total havoc. She is going to be a complete nightmare. Dealing with her adult form is impossible, so Hajin has to act. He is going to take her down now and grab 2 huge rewards. The first prize he's after is a legendary gear piece called the Ether. The second drop is the Seed of Evangel. These 2 items were exactly what helped that demon lord become such a terrifying force of evil. If Hajin wants to get stronger even faster, the Ether is his biggest win. It is his best advantage. He reaches the hidden dungeon stage door. Total darkness waits inside. He triggers his precision eagle eye to scout. He peers deep into the cave, making sure no monsters are lurking around. That is when he spots it, a glowing tree with crystals sprouting out. There's his target. The young witch is tiny and completely wide open. Since a grown witch is unbeatable, this is his one and only chance. It has to be now. Right now, she's weak and just playing around. She's fiddling with her spells, looking innocent, but Hajin knows the truth. He's here to stop the world-ending doom she will eventually cause. His emotions start to waver. Seeing her like this is hitting him hard. But as the author of this world, he has to take full responsibility. He steels his heart to kill her. Even the future villain did it. He follows that same path. Getting closer, he tells himself she's just a creation. At the end of the day, she is just a character he made up. He is the reason she exists, so he must be the reason she ends. Normally, spirit witches cannot be killed by bullets, even those with mana. That won't work here, so Hajin taps into his stigma magic instead. He conjures a magical spear, glowing with pure light energy to strike her. One hit should do it. He's also really feeling that boost from the ginseng. His stats are absolutely soaring now. He takes aim and lets it fly. Believe it or not, he chucks that spear full force at the witch. Direct hit, her spiritual form is shattered by a clean headshot. Hajin is shocked. He didn't realize he could be this cold and brutal. Anyway, he really thought that one big attack would be her end. But for some reason, she's way more resilient than she looks. Even in her immature state, she somehow manages to survive that hit. The witch pulls her spirit body back together with her remaining power. Suddenly, the entire dungeon begins to shake under a massive earthquake. The baby witch finally loses her grip and explodes into a wave of dust. Right before his eyes, it's over. At last, the 2 items have dropped. The Seed of Evangel holds her soul, allowing her to be reborn later. Once that germination process finishes, she will return in a brand new form. Then there's the Ether. This lets the owner reinforce weapons and boost power. Just getting the Ether buffs all of Hajin's stats by 0.6. The system drops a final warning. This item cannot be traded away. Back at the dorm, Hajin is finally feeling the true effects of the loot. The mission was a total success. That ether will only amplify his skills. With everything he has picked up so far, he is ready for more. Our main character finally feels ready to hold his own as a cube cadet. With 50 story points in his pocket and his current level rising, things look up. After feeling the effects of the ginseng, the real prize of the raid is clear. He secured the seed of Evangel, a rare item that can literally resurrect the witch. She just needs to germinate. Don't let that Witch of Despair title fool you, though. If Hajin plays his cards right, he might turn this villain into a powerful ally. Turning Evangel into a friend is the goal. Luckily, growing the seed is not hard. The author's notes make it sound tough, but the actual requirement is pretty simple. It just needs blood to grow, but here is the catch: the witch's soul depends on it. Whoever provides the blood shapes who she becomes, so Hajin must pick a perfect donor. He needs the best candidate. Already, he is weighing his options carefully. He is considering Suho and Rachel, hoping their blood makes the witch nice to him. But asking Yanha or Naeun? Absolutely not. That would be a total disaster waiting to happen. They would just cause a scene and ruin the witch's personality. It is a major red flag. He is avoiding that mess at all costs. But how is he actually going to get the blood? Hajin decides to worry about that later. Right now, he needs to rest for tomorrow's chaos. The upcoming event is going to drain every bit of his strength. He needs his sleep. The hunting club incident is coming up fast. This is where Sven finally snaps at Naeun. It is finally time. The next morning at the Bayakpa Mineral Springs. A fresh group of cube cadets are buzzing with excitement for their first official outing. A student leader steps up to address the crowd, going over the schedule one last time. Hajin stays quiet in the crowd, listening intently. The Leonidas Hunting Club is ready to roll. They are heading out for a hunt, but she warns them, this is not just a hobby. This is a serious duty to protect the public and help the local citizens stay safe. While everyone else is excited, our guy Hajin is over here sweating bullets. The uncertainty is killing him. He has no idea how much the story might shift today. He is flying blind, relying only on what he remembers writing in his original novel. Back in the novel, Sven's outburst left Naeun badly injured. Sven was supposed to die in the fight. Hajin originally planned it all out this way. It was meant to push Suho and Naeun together, but here is where it gets interesting. Everyone is watching Naeun as the target, but they're missing the real danger elsewhere. Yanha is the real target. Hajin is cautious and terrified. He's scared because the story is drifting away from his script. Even though he has some demonic power now, he hasn't reached his full transformation yet. He's still in his early stages, but that makes him even more unpredictable right now. Hajin is actually hoping for a scene. If Sven snaps now, they can take him down. Strength in numbers is the plan, but while he is focused on the enemy, Naeun is bothered. Hajin is staring at Sven, but Naeun thinks he is staring at her. How awkward. She has no clue he is actually tracking Sven's every move with those intense eyes. As he keeps watch, Naeun starts to worry that this guy has a secret crush. It is honestly hilarious. Even Sven is getting suspicious and warns her to stay alert. He tells her to watch out, but Naeun just laughs it off. She doesn't feel threatened. To her, Hajin is harmless, but Sven isn't talking about some schoolboy crush here. He is talking about the recent disappearances. Something dark is coming. Discuss those recent disappearances, clearly implying something far more sinister. All right, you and I are seeing some serious tension between Hajin and Non. She truly believes he's just an innocent guy, definitely not the type to pull anything. The hunt kicks off. Sven and Non lead the way while Hajin trails behind, watching. A bit of time passes, and they find themselves deep within the silent forest. Suddenly, a poor deer gets absolutely shredded by a monstrous, brutal demon. That beast is actually Sven, who's secretly testing out his terrifying new demonic powers. He lets the animal go the second he hears Non calling for him. She managed to hunt something herself, but what she sees next completely stuns her. Sven didn't just beat her, he cleared out way more prey with lightning speed. He's just standing there, playing the innocent card, while she has zero clue what happened. Sven takes the win for the mission. Now, he gets to claim his prize. Per their deal, he can ask for anything, but his nerves finally kick in. He fumbles his words, awkwardly trying to finally ask her to be his. Meanwhile, Hajin is watching like a hawk. He knows exactly how messy this gets. See, Sven's pact is with the Cardinal of Desire, and that has a price. Anyone under its thumb becomes a literal puppet to their own darkest, deepest cravings. That's why Sven has zero restraint right now. He finally just says it. He wants Nan to be his girlfriend. Straight up, no more hiding it. Nan just freezes. She's stunned, completely at a loss for words in this moment. Her confused reaction starts to bug him. Is she about to turn him down? Nan admits she's just not ready to date someone she barely even knows yet. Those cold words cut deep. Hajin knows this is the ultimate trigger for Sven. His obsession is about to boil over, forcing his demonic nature to the surface. Then Nan adds fuel to the fire. She's only into guys stronger than her. If the first rejection stung, this one is a total knockout blow to his ego. Sven looks completely shattered. So much for the worst she can say is no. Nan stands her ground and tries to walk away, but Sven isn't letting go. He demands to know if all he has to do is prove he's more powerful. She's officially creeped out now. His tone has shifted into something dark and dangerous. Suddenly, a demonic hand lashes out. Sven obliterates the ground she's standing on. He's acting like a man possessed, shifting into a terrifying multi-tailed beast form. The only reason Nan is still alive is because Hajin jumped in just in time. He boosted his shield with his high-tier gear, barely tanking that brutal hit. But as he turns to check on her, Sven strikes again, impaling him instantly. Nan scrambles for her weapon. She's got seconds to act while Hajin fights for air. The monster has him by the throat. Hajin is literally being strangled to death. Nan sparks her magic condensation and slices a tentacle, screaming for him to stop. Sven has lost it. He's ranting like a lunatic about his twisted love for her. This dark obsession is fueling him, making his demonic form grow even stronger. Nan is furious now. She pours everything into her magic while Hajin struggles. Suddenly, a brilliant green light erupts. Nan is hitting her absolute limit. Turns out, some people in this world just pick the wrong weapons for themselves. Nan was at the top of that list. Her real gift isn't long-range gear. It's pure, raw magic, and you and I are about to see her true power. Because when she finally lets loose, the entire battlefield is going to change forever. She summons a massive blade with every bit of her strength, ordering Sven to release Hajin immediately. She lets loose a cataclysmic blast right at that hideous fiend. The dust clears to reveal total destruction. Her power completely shredded the terrain. The earth is torn apart, leaving her stunned by her own overwhelming strength. Even Hajin can't believe his eyes. He wonders if she just pulled a lightsaber out like some Jedi from Star Wars. Honestly, she's just as baffled as he is about what just happened. More importantly, she's worried sick about him. Hajin confirms he's totally fine, but her own body is absolutely wrecked. That massive attack drained every single drop of energy. Everything goes blurry. Her knees buckle and she collapses. Hajin doesn't waste a second rushing to help her. A while later, she finally wakes up and flinches in shock when she realizes she's on his back. She's so mortified, she demands to be put down immediately. Hajin knows that's a bad move, but he's just trying to look out for her. However, her pride is way too high to accept any favors from him. He lets her go, and her legs turn to jelly as she hits the dirt again. She's absolutely terrified. She doesn't even have the strength to stand up on her own feet. It feels like she's completely lost control of her body. Hajin watches her, totally baffled, and asks if this is her first time dealing with a major case of mana burnout. Looking at her stunned face, it's pretty obvious to him that she's never felt this. She's probably never even heard the term. He explains that mana burnout happens when you use up every single drop of your inner energy, leaving you completely and utterly powerless. This means walking is going to be almost impossible for at least the next 2 days. Hajin decides to tease her a bit, joking about whether he should just leave her. With no other options, she's forced to swallow her pride and finally accept his help. She climbs back onto his shoulders. As they walk, Hajin asks a very serious question. Is she really going to stick with that bow after seeing the insane power she showed? That was a massive level up. She has no idea what he's even talking about, though. But he insists that deep down, she must have felt that change within her soul. She's unlocked a latent ability she didn't even know existed until this very moment. With this magic, she could literally wipe out hundreds of monsters and deadly fiends. All it takes is one single slash. In a full-scale war, her power is terrifying. She's borderline unstoppable now that she's finally manifested this incredible, hidden talent. In the future, people will call her the supreme ruler of the entire battlefield. But to reach that level, she'll have to walk away from her beloved weapon. The bow she's used since she was a kid. This honestly just makes her angry. How can he act like he knows what's best? Hajin figures she'll keep the bow. At least for now, he gets her near the portal and suggests she goes alone. She feels completely abandoned by his sudden exit and even begs him to stay. But Hajin is a man of logic and just walks away. The very next day, word of the assault on Chinyun spreads like wildfire through the cadets at the cube. Everyone finds out the monster was Sven. Meanwhile, Hajin just walks past the crowd. He doesn't pay them any mind at all. He walks up to a door and swings it open, only to find the academy's heavy hitters all in one room. You've got Horek, Jonghak, Yanhe, and the class rep Yanhan, the big players. They're all together now, and Hajin is right there with them. Let's rewind a bit. To the day before that whole incident with Chan. Suho asked Hajin for Suho needs a favor this Friday. When Hajin asks what is up, he gets an answer. It turns out Suho wants to dig into the mystery of the missing students. The academy put him in charge of a special team made of cadets. They want to keep things internal and avoid any messy outside interference. So they are forming a student-led task force to track down the culprit. This team pulls elite representatives from every grade to crack the case. For the first years, it is a powerhouse lineup: Suho, Jonghak, and Nayeon. Suho explains that while the school has pros, this way is actually smarter. If the killer is hiding among them, who better to catch a cadet than cadets? It makes sense to Hajin, but one big question remains: why him? He is not exactly a top-tier student, so why did he get the invite? Well, get this, Nayeon personally asked for him to join the group. That is why Suho reached out. With that mystery solved, Hajin decides to tag along. Plus, it is a golden chance to rack up more story points for himself. Once they gather, Suho starts laying out the facts of the investigation. He wants everyone's theories, so they can piece together what happened so far. Most of them assume that Sven's incident was not related to the disappearances. It seemed like a separate issue entirely, but then things got heated. The moment Suho mentions Nayeon's name, Jonghak suddenly loses his cool. He is fuming, demanding to know if they are talking about the same Nayeon. Parts that aren't quite right, so after that, when everything is ready, inserting the right images and syncing the audio together, then we proceed to export the video for publishing. So this is the process that I create a complete video. Therefore, I really hope that the YouTube support team reconsiders their decision. Check if there are any mistakes anywhere to help us return to the program earning money from YouTube. I sincerely thank you.